everyone? I'm Evan B. Stone, Music Cue. I'm a world-class adventurer and cinematographer. Basically, I go around the world and capture the adventure of travel.
Okay, let's fly.
I specialize in really extreme stuff.
The current is terrible in here. You okay?
Really intense.
Like diving,
That's a plane! Unbelievable!
climbing,
The whole wall is literally just disintegrating. Back up, back up, back up. Back up.
anything that feels a little dangerous.
That goes all the way down to the ocean level.
Yes, almost 200 feet.
It's opening up into a chamber.
The viewer wants to be in the action. And that's what I give them.
This is the definition of madness. Are you kidding me?
These remote locations can be breathtakingly beautiful, but also just as deadly.
Here we go!
Just found a landmine back there. One more down, 4 or 5 million to go.
Fire now!
Anything can happen in these remote and exotic locations.
Angry looking, bro.
And sometimes they do.
Look over there on the other side.
Wait.
What I've learned in this business is keep shooting no matter what.
How are you?
All right.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Bill.
Bill.
Yes.
You don't look like a Bill. That was a little touch and go there for a minute.
This is what travel is all about. And capturing that essence is my job.
This is the craziest welcome I've ever seen. I mean, I assume it's a welcome. I could be murdered in the next 10 minutes. I don't know.
What have we become? United in hate! When did we become a divided state? Don't hate me because I'm not like you. Don't hate me, it's just a point of view. When did we become divided by hate? What have we done? Divided state! Don't hate me because I'm not like you.
Live from New York City, on the planet Earth. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Once again, what's happening? What's up, Sean Daly? Good to see everybody. Looking forward to today. Kenny Clark. Wow, they're coming out of the woodwork, right? That's right, buddy. Good. Good to see everybody. Johanna, Darren, the whole gang, Lori Dawn. How was Sam Black Church last night? Looked like a good show. Chris Hoffman in Arizona. Good. Larry the Hunter. Didn't you guys? Aren't you guys in Europe yet? I thought you guys got on the plane to go to Europe. What's going on, bro? Tell me you're watching the show from Europe. What's up, James? Everybody, what's happening? Happy to see everybody. Did the clocks go back an hour in Europe? Hey, Larry. I know. Yo, shouting out Larry Kelly, who's up at Bridge 9 Records, running the store today. I know I'm on the big screen up there. What's up? If anybody's in the store right now, buy some shit, you cheap fucks. Come on. You're in the store. Open up that wallet and buy some shit. I know you can hear me. You over there in the corner by the t-shirts. Ryan Bland from Ake, what's up, my man? All right. Speaking of buying some shit. What's up?
What's up?
I'm not buying any of this shit.
I'm not buying any of this shit.
What is going on?
What's up, bro? What are you working today?
No, I'm actually at a diner somewhere in Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie?
I'm in Poughkeepsie for the last chance.
Who's playing? Hatebreed?
Hatebreed and Internal Bleeding today.
Poughkeepsie, man. That one street in front of the Chance, that place, that street was bad like 300 years ago, and it's still fucked up. I tell the story on the show that Burton from Fear Factory left the show backstage, went across the street to the ATM and got robbed. That street is still nasty, man.
Oh man, yeah, it's a matinee today. I think Hatebreed's on at like 6:30 today.
All right, good.
So
shout out to the Chance in Poughkeepsie. Listen,
yes.
I've heard that place is closing about 300 times, man.
It's the last chance.
The last chance for the Chance, you know? Yeah, there you go. The Chance Alley area is horrifying. It is. It's like they should do
and I obviously have to apologize because I'm here and I want you to have a great show because I won't be able to make the show today at the grill. So
did you read at the diner?
I'm right here. This it's the diner right next to Cracker Barrel.
Listen, bro, I'm not mad at any New York diner. I mean, I'm like, it counts because it's in New York State, so that's a New York diner.
Oh yeah, Long Island is the diner capital.
Speaking of which, yeah, it's like the Kiss World. Yeah. Sean says they're redoing the theater, and my guess is they're not going to have heavy shows anymore. We'll see. Listen, they say that about everything. Oh, we're redoing it, and then listen, we make our way back into these venues, you know. Speaking of which, let's do photo of the day. Here we go, and boom, photo of the day right there. Yeah.
Repping the Bon Jovi shirt.
First off, does anybody know the kind of guitar he's playing? Friggin' nice guitar. Anybody? Let's see. That dude.
I have a guess, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, this is a Les Paul Jr. I think it's a special kind of Les Paul Jr., isn't it, Larry? Yes, we know it's a Les Paul, and we know it's a Gibson. That we know. But isn't it? I think it's like a very rare type of Les Paul Jr. Anyway, does anybody know who this is? Anybody? Name this guitar player.
And former guest on our show.
Yeah, this is a guy I've known. This is a guy I've known for fucking over 40 years. Played in one of the most incredible. Let's see. Let me put it to you like this. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for this guy. This guy's band changed my life, without a doubt. I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be doing something else with my life. So, it's a 57. Yeah, I could see that. Yes, it is. It's a single cut Les Paul Jr. Very, very rare to have a white pick guard if it's original. Brian Baker. Yes, it is. Yeah. It is the one, the only Brian Baker. And Brian Baker has been in a couple bands. This is, of course, the other night. Here we go. I just saw Bad Religion on Wednesday. Right. So this is Brian Baker playing with Bad Religion. But of course, Brian Baker was the bass player and then second guitar player and then the bass player again in a band that you may have heard of called Minor Threat. Yep. Super nice guy. Yes, of course. Yo, shouting out Chris Contos, man. Yo, I saw you got that drum endorsement, bro. Those drums are beautiful.
Junkyard, that's right.
And of course, Junkyard are one of our favorite sort of sleaze metal bands, you know? So, There you go. Big props to the old school Bon Jovi shirt. And I guess you saw them. I heard they were great. I heard they were friggin' great.
The Paramount in Long Island, actually.
There you go.
And there's the man
Yeah.
right there. One of my
Yeah.
all-time favorite people on the planet.
Yep.
Professor Graffin.
You know, they are really good right now. They really have a good band right now, you know?
They're just so they're super tight. I mean, one of the tightest bands ever going to see. So
yeah, you
so,
can't fuck. Yeah,
so good. They were awesome. I mean, I'd never missed. I don't think I've missed a Bad Religion tour since Recipe for Hate. I think.
I haven't seen Bad Religion play in fucking 30 years. I don't think.
Well, next time they play, you got to come. So
that's a story. That's another story. I won't to get into some of it, but when I was working with Biohazard, we went down to South America in '94 and played an arena with Biohazard, with Bad Religion. It was Biohazard, Bad Religion in a basketball arena in Buenos Aires. It was off the hook.
Is that the one where they both did "Whirling Gonna Die" together?
Yeah, well, they did that a lot.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Did you see? I saw. Did you? What's this Ace Frehley shot? Did you see Ace?
I saw Ace a couple of days later up in the Hudson Valley. There he is, with the smoking Les Paul right there. You know, he played up at the Hudson Valley, and I went. I haven't seen him play since 2001, since the 9/11 benefit,
right.
And he's always a hit or miss. Like he's so Ace, like he could be a little sloppy, he could be a little slurry, but he had a really good band this time, and it made what he did more palatable, and it was a good show. I had a lot of fun, and we got to meet him afterwards and say hello, and he, you know, the guy's a legend. I mean, love him or hate him, you know. And the best part was, I made a point knowing we were going to see Ace. I had to wear my Agro's Army shirt.
Nice.
And I sent the picture to Paris immediately. I knew he'd get a kick out of that. So
cool.
But yeah, I mean, you know, he sounded really good, and his set list was all killer Kiss classic stuff. So
right on.
I'd rather see Ace right now than Kiss myself. So that's the way it is.
Fair enough.
So, and then tonight is Internal Bleeding, Sick Bay, and Hatebreed.
Good.
So,
say hello to Jamie for me.
Of course. I'll give my best to everybody. I'll rip a piece of the wall off and bring it home for you from the chance.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thank you.
You got it.
I'll see you later. This is it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Upstate Records, and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, my friends and yours, Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook pages, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Come on now, 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise, like you, my friend. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your weak-ass clothing game at www.126clothing.com. Is that right? Is that right? Having some problems with the stream? That's rare these days. Hegs is okay. Yeah. It's your problem. The stream's not my problem. It's your problem. That said, yeah, you just jinxed it. Stream looks fine on this end. But hopefully it sorts itself out. That said, hey, George, That's my man right there. 126 Hardcore Clothing. One of my beloved sponsors. Hope things are well in Greece, George, or in Germany if you're in Germany right now. That said, let's clear the deck. What the heck? That's right. Somebody was just on there going, "Where's Evan?" Liz, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this show. Be patient. Be patient with this show, will you? People are crazy these days. Here we go. Let's clear the deck. Special guest today. I know this guy really well. Known him a long time, too. All right, hold on. Let's clear the deck. What the heck? Let's make sure nobody's killing each other in the chat room. All right. That said, our first guest is a renowned director of photography and adventure filmmaker. He has carved a niche for himself in the realm of paranormal and unexplained mysteries. Known for his pivotal roles in the hit shows like Destination Truth and Expedition Unknown, he collaborated closely with host Josh Gates to explore some of the world's most enigmatic mysteries. Whether investigating ghostly phenomena or deep diving into folklore, his work is a blend of scientific rigor and raw curiosity. Here today to discuss his hair-raising adventures and lifelong fascination with the otherworldly, please welcome, coming at us from Los Angeles, California, my brother, Evan B. Stone.
Wow. What's up, Drew? What's up, y'all? Thanks.
Hey, did you call Dad today?
I just texted him. I said you need to tune in for sure. So
Call Dad today. There you go.
Let's do this. It's a long time coming. I haven't told any of these stories. A little bit of one, but I'm finally ready to open up my archives and tell a bunch of good stories.
Yeah, you're sort of doubling back and realizing this wealth of history you've been a part of, really.
Yep. Last 15 years, I've been work with Josh Gates, mostly with Destination Truth, and then Expedition Unknown, but also Finding Bigfoot and Ghost Nation, which is the Ghost Hunter guys, and many other shows. But those are the ones that kind of delve into this world right here, and hundreds of different places that were haunted, could be haunted, or should be haunted because of, and you'll see some of that in the pictures I show.
Yeah, like that. They the opening intro reel is high energy. It's banging.
You know how we do. We're from New York. We have to throw it out there like, what's up?
Gotta say, Chris Contos, one of our great friends, from Machine Head, he said Finding Bigfoot was great. So I guess people know you from when you worked on Finding Bigfoot, when you started working with Josh in the first show, and then of course Expedition Unknown.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we're from the mean streets of the Upper East Side of New York. We don't know anything about this, but once I got exposed, and more, you become an expert. If you've done over 100 investigations, doesn't matter where you're from and how you started.
Absolutely. Well, let's delve right into it. Let's jump right into it. And I think the first thing is really become, in a way, like we're going for the hanging fruit first, and that's this sort of episode that happened when working on Josh's show. I guess we would call it like Haunted Forest, right?
Yeah, this is the Halabuchu Forest in Romania. This is what I'm pretty much most known for. You could start at the head of that clip, Drew, if you could.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so we do something called a haunting, where each crew member sits in the field. This is a perfect circle in Romania that has a lot of lore to it. Nothing grows there, for one. There's a lot of UFO sightings, and also supposedly there was a Nazi camp up there. They did experiments, and there's a lot of strange phenomena that happens there. So what we do in Destination Truth, the crew was actually on camera as well, and this is my first day, really first week ever working with Josh, and it was my turn to go out there, and you can roll it. I could kind of talk through it. And so they're saying, how you doing? What's going on here? And then I say, I started hearing voices and arcing voices and stuff. And then I started feeling something really shot me back. I don't even remember after that what happened. But from cross-legged 20 minutes into just getting yanked out, and I don't remember much more. The crew ran over, and we're pretty concerned about.
So you literally got blown back.
I don't remember much, but yeah. And you know, they found me about 20 minutes later in the woods, disorientated. And this is, again, I didn't know what was going on. I was kind of scared. And there was a medic there, and I was explaining how a wind just kind of came in and took me and shot me forward, shot me back. And then I felt some itching on my arm, and I couldn't explain it. And I had these marks on my arm, which were unexplained. And I was just really scared at the time. And here's a little close up. I tried to enhance it. Nothing. That was the point when I got yanked back from cross-legged. And that was Destination Truth, season 3.5, or I think it was season 3. And that was it. You know, I kept doing the rest of the season. The show still airs. And I'm pretty much most known for that in this world. And I kind of tucked it away for a while and just kept doing my career and didn't talk about it much. And then people always want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Josh does these public.
I also know you've gone on to sort of like Josh has done some like looking back shows where they sort of look back and talk about big moments. And I know you've sat down and been on camera a couple of those shows.
Yep. On Josh on Expedition and I'm also on camera. I'm Josh's buddy. Me and him usually go solo when it gets weird. You know, we go up to Amazon, or if it's just me and him doing show, we get some great stuff. So he really trusts me as far as always filming. And I got that stuff from all the action sports films, always be filming, you know, and never stop, just be ready. And, so, yeah, there you go. And, so yeah, it's been a journey, as a cinematographer and a filmmaker, but also, I'm put into a lot of places that, like I said, should be haunted. I mean, we're talking, and I have some pictures to show, whether I'm in Egypt with bones everywhere, or
I got all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but let's go to this, and we have a clip, but maybe you could set the table a little bit with this.
Yeah, that's Chernobyl. You know, the ghost of Chernobyl. We went to Chernobyl and did a night investigation for spirits and ghosts and, you know, what's going on there. And what's on my camera right there, that lens is called an astroscope. It sees at night. It's a military grade adapter for the camera. And I'm wearing a level 4 radiation suit, and I'm not taking it off. I put it on and I sealed it up, and I was like, you know, but it was real claustrophobic and it was weird there. I'm one of the few people at the time to go there, and I think I have a little presentation of that as well.
Yeah, it's rolling out.
Yeah, so here we are. My look on my face to get there is a lot of checkpoints, and of course I film everything, so I'm in the back, kind of zooming through, making sure I don't get. You know,
so to go to Chernobyl, you kind of like you go through one checkpoint and then go a little bit farther, and
another. Yeah,
right.
And
because I'm sure they don't want people just wandering around in there.
No. It's a 50-mile radius circle. It's no one goes there except some people, and some people live there. And I have some.
Astoria Lou asks, how did you get access?
Through the show. You know, money talks, right?
In places like Russia, it does, right?
It's probably packets of money. You know, we get places and it's like, let's go.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. And still we could have, there's always a point where we could just be told, no, you got to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is
Mac,
us trying to, you know, shuck and jive our way through. Oh, you want to see something here? Josh is doing a like flippy flip like, how about this? You know, he gets us through though.
this will get you this. That'll get right.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
probably under there's some money. I've no idea, you know, but
Max the Threat says, "Don't cross the streams." I'm assuming he's kind of
that's
referring to. It's like
Ghostbusters.
one thing to show it's Chernobyl, but like don't like cross water or stuff like that, right?
It's a Ghostbusters term, but yeah.
That's a Ghostbusters term.
Yeah, yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, when they were shooting the gun at what's his name? The
Ah,
demon at the end.
I got it. Oh, don't cross the streams. Oh, I'm sorry,
So
I read that wrong.
this is my sound man at the time, Mike. And go back one if you could. That's reactor 4 back there. That's the one that got yeah,
This
right there.
right.
Yeah, it's reactor 4.
This is reactor 4 where they basically built a sarcophagus around it at this
Yeah,
point.
this is
The radiation.
maybe before that at the time. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what the right Geiger counter, because I had a dosimeter on my camera. I'm trying to read how much is safe and not. They just won't tell you. They won't tell you, you know, and it's like
Right.
so,
Sure, it's safe. It'll cost you a couple bucks, right?
all
Money
right,
talks, right?
right.
So go
So
on.
you can let it roll. So yeah, it was. So go on. So there's another take on that level. This is us starting to film. You see those tanks in the background, and
Yeah.
okay, stop there. Just stop it there. The radiation gathers up in rubber and certain things. That back there is a boat area where is off limits. Every one of those boats are just listing, and no one touches, and the water's contaminated. Everything about it, and that's as far as we can go down that road right there. And that's me filming Josh doing a walk and talk backwards.
So behind you there, that's like some crazy radioactive
Ah.
boat graveyard.
Oh yeah, it's
Gnarly.
yeah, it's just, you know. Also, it's like one little microbe of that in your lungs, and you're done. You know, so
Right.
it's kind of scary, but
Looks
you
like
know.
Josh doesn't. Looks like you guys don't have any gear on.
They said it's okay right there, right?
Hey, it's
So,
okay over here,
right there, yeah,
but not over there.
right.
Yeah,
So
it's
go
the
on.
forbidden. It's like the forbidden zone in Planet of the Apes.
It sure is. It sure is.
Somebody asked. I like this question. Our good friend and supporter, RS70. Was there anything living there? Do you hear like insects and birds? I mean, is there nature?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's all nature came back. It's a lot of nature. There's a pack of wolves. There's horses. There's everything going on there. I'm not sure their health, but there's also people living there that never left. And later on in the slideshow, I'll tell you a funny story about that. So yeah, this you know, after a while, the radiation settles, and it's when you kick up dust, that's when you can get it, you know.
That's right.
But
That's right.
No one's gonna tell you.
So,
So
actually, like a good time to
stop
go
right there.
Whoa,
Yep.
whoa, ho. So actually, I would think a good time to go would be like when it's raining.
I don't think so. I think
No?
that's when I have no idea. I just say don't go. I mean,
Don't go at all.
this is a dosimeter that was at the highest level. And when I asked the guy, he's like, don't worry. And I was like, well, when do I worry? And they wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me. But I kept this on my camera. And so I would, oh, back off. I'll use my lens on that. You know, oh, let's go over here. Nah, I'm good right here. You know, we had to take these lead pills beforehand to help, you know, there's before we really went at it. There's the crew. There's my dosimeter on my hip.
A dosimeter is like a Geiger counter.
Yeah.
It reads the radiation.
That's right.
Right on.
And and this is us now getting ready to investigate. Okay, so in this town square here, there's lots of people died, and in the town square they buried them there as well, which we found out. So if there's ghosts here, oh my God, they're gonna be here, and it is a spooky place just to start. I mean, it's as post-apocalyptic as it gets, as far as a movie set. I mean, I'm sure a lot of movies looked at this and said, well, this looks like it should be, after the nuclear fallout, and there's only zombies left, you know. So
I saw what was that? Was it the Chernobyl Diaries? It was
Yeah.
like that was really good. It was like
Yeah.
that was like a scary friggin' film.
Yeah,
Like I
mean,
thought it was like another one of these films, but they definitely had an angle, and it was a fucking scary film at the end. That was the Chernobyl Diaries. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, go ahead. So it gets real foggy in there, and you have to keep your finger up in there and wipe it, and all of a sudden you get stuff in there and all that. And it was a struggle. So here's a good shot of a typical street there. It's basically a really small town, but it's all buildings. It's the, Soviet style, kind of, there's no, and it's all overgrown, every building, everything, and keep going in the slides. I mean, this was our all night for days. Oh, stop right there. Okay. So, the most, radioactive part is this area here. And there's some bumper cars you'll see coming up, but this area here, you come close to it. No thanks. Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's a sad place. It's a lot of stress going on there. There's a lot of anxiety and death. And that's where you find some paranormal stuff for sure. If you were going to go look for something like that. And the thing about Destination Truth is we went to these places. We're not in a fancy hotel somewhere doing a ghost hunt. This is like, we're going to places where stuff really happened. And it was, it was intense, that was intense.
Let me just go through the slideshow here, because there's some great stuff here.
That's right. That's some like Shepherd.
Someone pointed out, my mistake. Chernobyl is in the Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. At the time, it was Soviet, and so this is it. Everyone walked away from their books and their schools.
They just walked out. They ran out.
Yeah, but it took a while. They didn't tell them right away. So there's a lot of right here. There's the bumper cars. That rubber there and something about that place is just all, and really, every time it went off, I got anxiety. I was like, meanwhile, I'm a little claustrophobic and I'm in this suit. And the paranormal part of it was just, there was shadow creatures, at night that would just up the wall.
Well, that sort of addresses Over the Edge, asks, what's been the purpose to go to the place? Scientific documentation?
No, we're doing a show about paranormal and cryptid. Destination Truth was about things that go bump in the night. So anything from ghost hunting to chupacabra, Bigfoot to UFOs. That was that show, and that's what
RS asked, any spirit activity while you were there?
Definitely, no doubt. So keep going on the slides there. What? Yeah, you'd find a place like this. Oh, don't go here. Why there? And then there's like there's bombs. There's like, it's like, oh, but here you can't go. But like 4 feet.
Stay away.
Yeah, right. It's like rando. And then there's like stuff like this one. Like what? And all this. It is the place if you're into paranormal stuff. If you can get there, everything living has something in it. So you're like, where's the 5-footed frog? But okay, stop there. All right, so and I'll tell about the paranormal stuff in a second. But there are people living there. There's this couple who live there. This old folks, they ain't leaving. They're like, we're not leaving.
Well, I saw a documentary called, I think it was The Babushkas of Chernobyl.
I bet you this is them. Yeah, I'm sure.
The name of it. It's these old women that they went back. They like got under the fence and they went back. And there's a bunch of people that live there. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of them. And to hang out with them, there's a rule. You have to drink their moonshine. right? And they're pouring it. And before we went in, me and Josh are always joking. I said, Josh, it was like a little water spigot, like we're well. I said, how much would you to drink that? He's like, no money in the world. So now we get in here and we want to talk to him, and you can't say no. So look at Josh's face. This is like some moonshine that we're drinking. Ooh. Okay, so go to the next one.
Oh man,
yes,
some Ukraine,
well, yeah,
Ukraine moonshine.
They don't call it moonshine, but yeah, look at that look, right? And it was we eventually drank it and got super drunk. It was like at 10 a.m. And then all of a sudden we're like, Chernobyl, let's go,
Yeah, let's go shoot stuff at Chernobyl.
That's me on the right eating the food. All of a sudden we're all happy. Look, I'm holding a drink. I'm making friends with people, shit like that. This is a local, this is, so all of a sudden we're in, a lot of these sacred places, there's a gatekeeper, and these gatekeepers, you got to bring usually alcohol or whiskey or something. Jack Daniels is pretty much what everyone wants around the world. Then you get
Jack Daniels is the how do you say it? It's the most common currency on the planet Earth.
They love it. They love it because they can't get it, So a lot of times they twist the top off and they throw it out. You got to drink it all. And then all of a sudden you're in, because they trust you. Now I could talk a little about what went on there at night. It was very active with shadow hauntings. I mean, that's what they call it. These are beings or entities that show themselves in shadows. Lots of them along the wall. I mean, it's like, and also you're in the mask and it's fogged up, and you just, I'm following Josh and doing my own thing. I'm a storyteller with my camera. I don't make judgments. I don't exaggerate anything. I just film, right? I'm not per se a true believer in a sense where it's all I talk about. Things have happened to me and around me, and usually attracted to me, but I don't ask for it, and I don't really play up on it. It's just happens, and I'm there with my camera, always shooting. So what I experienced was, and what Josh did was lots of shadow stuff, and then noises and creaks up and 3 stories up. There's and all this. I mean, the place is just it's so crazy. We could have spent the whole season there. It was a special place. I'm glad I have the pictures, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the stories to tell. And there are a lot of stories. We're going to try to rip through some stuff because there's so much to talk about.
Let's bring on a couple of our other guests, and let's have a group dialogue. Next up, our next guest is a paranormal investigator since the age of 15. He's traveled the eastern seaboard doing investigations as far north as Maine and as far south as Florida. He's done over 400 investigations in the past 20 years from J&J Adventures. Please welcome Mr. Jack Vasey. Hey, man. You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Sorry about that.
There you are. It's okay. How are you, Jack?
Doing great.
Good. What's the scan code there?
This way. Sorry, not showing the weather. So this is my QR code to my TikTok if people wanted to check out the different content we have. I see your guys' backdrops. You guys got all the cool stuff like the guitars and everything. And if I take this QR code off of this virtual back screen, it's like antique dishes. So,
I like.
I'm an antique dealer on the side is what I do besides ghost hunting. So I thought it'd be cool to put this up, make it look a little bit more spooky and stuff. So
okay, so tell us, Jack. How did you get into this genre, so to speak, and where does your passion come from? Kind of walk us through your background a little bit, and how things came to be.
So my first haunting was when I was 8 years old. I was living in my parents' house in my bedroom, and it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I had something tap on my window, and I actually ended up getting attacked by what they call is a shadow demon or a soul eater. I talked to a demonologist when I was 15 years old, and actually somebody from the Catholic Church priest came and talked to me about it. For years, I lived in fear of the paranormal, and I decided right around the age of 15 years old to stop taking this as a fear and try to, learn more about it, try to understand it as much as I can to kind of help control that fear. So I joined my first team when I was 15 years old. And as a lot of paranormal investigators will tell you, a lot of times you'll sit in the dark 95% of the time and you'll just not get anything. Like there's a lot of times you won't have stuff happen. The first time I ever really caught evidence was when I was 17. So it took like 2 years to really catch something that made my brain go, okay, I can't explain this. Yeah, that's how I got into the passion. It's once you're hooked, you're hooked.
Absolutely.
Also, Jack is known for his live TikTok stuff. He has about how much? 250,000 followers.
I'm at 200 and almost 217,000 and 125 million views.
Right. So Jack and I have actually connected through social media, and we're partnering up on a few investigations that are really compelling. We're going to be showing a little of that coming up.
Cool.
Awesome.
Let's bring on. Let's round this party up. Round this party out. Let's bring back one of our great friends and great supporters. As a musician, he's known for his work with the bands New York City Mayhem, Straight Ahead, Rest in Pieces, Youth of Today, Creep Division, Agnostic Front, and of course, for over 30 years, The Mighty Sick of It All. He has toured the world many, 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 many times and has found himself in numerous paranormal situations over the years. Please welcome one of the good guys, Craig Satari.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me, Drew.
Hey, buddy. I love you. I miss you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to be back on here with you guys.
But I'm going to see you on Friday down in Mexico.
That's right. That's right. We're playing Mexico City, and Drew's coming down with Biohazard. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great. So I thought, Craig, I'd pull you on a little early here, but just come along for the ride here.
Okay.
And we'll get to some of your stuff. Evan, Jack, let's talk a little bit, Evan, about what is going on with this here.
Okay, so I've been using the power of AI to clean up photos lately, old photos, with blurry photos. And the first thing I thought of, besides what law enforcement can do with some blurry photos of cases and video, is the second thing I thought is cleaning up some stuff in the paranormal. This is just a photo, and this is Bigfoot. First thing I thought, I'm going to clean up Bigfoot. Right. So this is a famous film. So on the bottom is the cleanup, and guess what? It looks like a guy in a mask and some tape on his face. It seems that way. Of course, I'm
going to go back and take another look. Hold on.
Yeah.
Here you go. Right.
I mean, that's the first one I did, and I was like, okay, crack that code. Oops. Hate to piss everyone off, but I mean, it's also AI is interpreting. So it's not real. I mean, it's not exact. It's what AI thinks it is, based on shadows, and it doesn't fix the picture. It rebuilds it from scratch. And this, of course, the second mystery of the world is with the Shroud of Turin, right? Is this image? So I worked on that. This is what they came up with the best they could, and then this is what I came up with. Was the filling in making it. Just filling in the pieces. Patty Hearst, famous.
Famous Patty Hearst clip.
Right. And all of a sudden she's like, ha ha ha, it's blurry to not, because it was questioned whether it is her because of blurry pictures. Well, and of course, the famous JFK assassination. I didn't go too much into this because it's pretty gory, but it cleaned it up real good. And this is based off a small picture that I worked on. And then I started working on some paranormal stuff. I found this online as the shadows, and then within it I found that, which is incredible, right? So now all of a sudden I'm like really interested in enhancing photos of people's that have some images to show. So here's another one here, a trail cam. But this is a trail cam, and so this is debunked. This is just a slow shutter on a trail cam. Stop there, Drew, if you could. Okay, Jack sent me that. This is how Jack and I connected. Jack sent me this photo and said, "Hey, I passed by this, and there's this weird kind of sun was creating this kind of like ball of haze, and he thought it was interesting. And he said, "Take a look at it." And then I keep going, and I said, "Okay, I did some research. I did some enhancing on it." Hey, go ahead, Drew. Okay, so Drew, you can keep play. And then I saw this little thing, this little anomaly. I went closer. I started to enhance it more and more, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell is this? Stop there, Drew.
Hello.
Okay, so this was in the photo, and obviously it has some sort of it's has some sort of exhaust, and it's pretty clear it's something that has some sort of energy to it, and what it looks like I've never seen before. So keep going, Drew.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
So this is what I'm looking at here, and so and I was really interested in that and these, and then this, and then this swirly kind of. This is definitely air being displaced with a heat signature. The red in it is by using certain heat signatures. So what?
And where was this? Pennsylvania?
Jack can talk
So this
more
was
about
in
it.
upstate New York, right outside of Richville, New York. That field is right off of Maple Grove Cemetery that's up here. And that field overlooks where actually during the Civil War, the artillery, the cavalry, and the infantry would have marched from DeKalb, Governor, and Richville, heading south towards North Carolina and South Carolina. That field has just a lot of historical stuff. It's a beautiful view. So I went out there one day. The wind was pretty strong. So I the first time when I kind of saw that, and I was like showing it to Evan, I said, it's not a bug, it's not a bird, because, the wind's so high, there wouldn't be really any of those out there. I mean, it was over 20, 30 mile per hour gusts, and just getting that haze and stuff. So I sent it to him, but then until he really enhanced it with the AI, I was like, I never even saw like the heat trail, and you can really see the, where it's coming out the bottom like that. It just made me scratch my head.
Jack, in your opinion, is there an inherent value to sort of this AI technology regarding the paranormal?
Absolutely. I mean, I just sent some pictures from the other night. We do investigations, especially in October. We do them every Friday. We do live investigations online. And I even sent some pictures to Evan of this. We were live on the Oswegatchie River, and it looked like a person standing on the other side of the river. And I put my spotlight on it, and I took the video. So I took some screenshots of the video. The thing never responded to me. I even yelled, "Hey, are you okay?" Because I'm thinking it's a person. And the person, there ends up being a couple other things behind it, and it kind of just made me go, I'm going to step back. So I took screenshots of the video, sent it off to Evan, and he used AI, and the stuff that he caught it blew my mind, like with some of how enhanced it made it.
Right there, Drew. Stop. So this is a heat signature, and I'm using, when I say I'm using AI, I'm just cleaning it up and making it clear. I'm not adding to anything. And so this particular has a heat signature. It looks like in the body part. I mean, I've never even in a sci-fi movie seen this. Maybe on Star Trek, one of the series, they use a tardigan, whatever the it's like a little micro bear that it's something like that. Yeah. Unexplained.
Upstate New York, Craig Satari.
So I posted
interesting place.
And I asked my followers, what do you think this thing is? Because I'm just trying to get people's opinions, because that's what I like about the social media aspect. Like, what do you think this is? And somebody said it looks like an organic drone. And I'm like, organic drone? And they're like, something that almost looks biological, but is also being used and manipulated with having the exhaust port. And I'm like, wow, that's like, sometimes hearing something that sounds so out there, but it kind of just is, it's nothing I've seen before.
Right. I mean, a lot of people think UFOs are spaceships and what pop culture has been dishing out, but this is maybe something from another dimension. It could be something that that transports it. It could be something that's been there always, and we don't see it. I mean, that's
just broke through the veil for a minute.
Just for a second, the way the sun was, who knows? Maybe, but it was in the first photo, and y'all can see it. And I said, "Oh, what's that?" Zoom, 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 zoom. More enhanced. So this after this, Jack and I started talking about his area, and I'm going down there to do a proper investigation there, which is get him to that area where he took the photo. Go to where that thing is. Raise your hands. How tall is it? There's a whole kind of bunch of techniques to kind of say, how big is that thing? Is it small? Is it big? And then we're going to do a night investigation there all night. We're going to use some dry ice, and we're going to do some techniques that Jack has, as well as good old fashioned EVPs, which is laying down some audio and being quiet, asking some questions, and then go back and listen on a different way, really raise the volume of it. And you hear stuff that is just, you can't even believe it. Which is really cool.
Hey, let's bring on Donnie. Evan, could you set the table before we bring Donnie on? Who is he, and
Sure.
what you bringing to the party?
Sure. This, it's not just me or Jack saying these kind of things. There's real people coming up. Is a law enforcement person from Texas, and we did a show on Expedition X on Bragg Road. Google it. It is a road that is from old. It used to be a train track, and now it's a road. Lots of paranormal activity goes on there, and he has his own story to tell. So I want to kind of bring him up.
So let's bring on Donnie Gully. Hey, man.
Hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Donnie. How are you?
All right. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, where in Texas? Where in Texas are you?
Now, I live in a little town called Warren, and we're about 50 miles north of Beaumont.
Oh, sure.
And Beaumont, of course, is an epicenter. Hey, brother, if you love music, you need to come to the Museum of the Gulf Coast in Port Arthur. Janis Joplin's from here. In fact, in Saratoga, where the Bragg Light Road is located, is the birthplace of George Jones.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Beaumont, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Set the table for us. Explain to us your experience.
Okay. I hired on with the Hardin County Sheriff's Office in 2002. I spent 5 years as a school resource officer there. And of course, all that was grant basis back then. And when all that ran out, I was transferred over to take care of the inmates to go out to do their community service and stuff. So I had up to 6 inmates. And Bragg Road is an 8-mile straight stretch of road that goes from 1293, FM 1293 up to FM 770. 787, straight line. And so we would go and we'd have a 18-foot low boy on the back. We would have our tractor and our zero-turn mower and all of our weed eaters on this trailer. And we would also have a bunch of trash bags, and we would go down Bragg Road from time to time to make sure it was clean. And because people like to go up and down, there's still some people who live on Bragg Road. And so it was about 2:30 in the afternoon one day. It was in August. And I grew up hearing all the stories about Bragg Road, and we'd take girls out there and try to scare them and such as that. It'd been around for decades. And I had 6 inmates with me, and we got up to about the 3-mile mark there, and there's a sign on the side that used to have the history of Bragg Road, so you could read it. And so the inmate sitting beside me in the van was from Florida, and we called him Florida. Hey, Florida, get out and read that sign, and you'll about the history of Bragg Road, and go back to Florida, tell everybody you've been here. And so they all started laughing because sometimes I would just play jokes on the inmates. It made for a good, relationship. They worked, they did good for me. And so I turned around, and the boy sitting behind me was an 18-year-old inmate, and he was laughing. I smiled at him, and I looked over his shoulder, and standing in the road about 50 yards down was like a oval glowing, it was just a light. It was oval, and it wasn't very bright, but I looked and I went, oh my God, there it is. And so he turns around and he sees it just as it dissipates. And I jumped out of the van, and I could hear him yelling, no, I saw it too. And I'm telling everybody, get out of the van. So they get out of the van on the right side of the road, and we're all looking back down the road. And I said, look, maybe it'll show up again. And I'm thinking, it's not, whatever it was, I saw it. I can't believe I just saw it at 2:30 in the afternoon. It was an overcast day. And so we're looking, and we're kind of in a line there looking down the road like a bunch of, turkeys waiting for the rain. And all of a sudden, about 50 to 60 yards down the road, right at the tree line, up about, I'd say about 10 feet up the tree line, there's pine trees there, was the most extremely bright white light I've ever seen in my life. It took your eyes straight to it. It grabbed your eye, and it just went like that to about the size of a dime, and it shot straight across the road and sort of melted into the other tree line. Now, if you watch the show, I know they kind of do their stuff, but it kind of looked like it meandered through. It didn't. It shot across so fast in such a straight line. It was like a sparkler whenever you do this, and it leaves a trail like a comet. Mm-hmm. And I turned and I looked, and I will never forget the look on Florida's face. His name was Greg. I've always heard the term jaw dropped. I literally saw it that day. His jaw was, just fixated. I said, "Did you guys see that?" And of course, we're all looking, and I look back and I'm thinking, this is crazy. But the second thing it did was it blew our minds. It formed on the road. It went straight up, made an arc, and came back down into the road, disappeared into the road. And it was so fast that it literally looked like a door standing in the roadway. And it kind of faded away. And by this time, we're not saying nothing because we're thinking, and then the third thing and the last thing it did, it come out of the woods again, not out of the woods, but from the tree line. It kind of morphed out of the tree at the tree line, shot across the road, did a figure 8 horizontally, and went back into the same tree. And we waited a few more minutes. We all got in the van, and I called my wife. In fact, I thought I had it with me, but I have the actual phone that I had. And I called my wife, and I put her on speakerphone, and I said, "Rhonda, you'll never guess. We just saw the Bragg light." And she goes, "What are y'all smoking out there?" And of course, all the inmates thought that was hilarious. It's like, we ain't smoking nothing. This is crazy, pardon me. And so I had never thought I'd ever see the light, much less at 2:30 in the afternoon. And one day on Facebook, years later, they have a little page that says, "I saw the Bragg Light Road." And I put a little bitty synopsis on there. And next thing I know, years later, I get this call. Say, "Hey, Hollywood's looking for you." I'm like, "What's for me?" And then that's where I got to meet Evan. And I tell you, it's been great. It's been a great friendship that we've been able to start, and I appreciate that. But I like I told him on the show, I will raise my hand in a court of law, and I will swear in a court of law that what I just told you happened. It was the most incredible thing. And people ask me, "Do you think it was a ghost?" And I'd say, well, the only thing that gets me about that whole thing was it to me seemed like an atmospherical type phenomenon, but it wasn't ball lightning because it kind of meanders. Mm-hmm. But it almost knew it had an audience, and everything it did was perfect straight line, perfect archway, perfect everything.
Let me ask, Evan, Jack. Isn't this a unique situation when a group of people witness something like this?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And science could say, well, it could be plasma balls, which happen on real hot days in swamps. It's very rare, but it does happen. Happens also in really cold conditions on lakes. But this doesn't seem that way, right? This is unexplained. And this is coming from someone who is authority, who has legit credentials. It's really cool, Donnie, that you're coming on to this. JJ, what's your take on this?
Honestly, I've heard a lot about the plasma balls, but from what he was saying, it sounds like it almost had intelligence to it. If it was putting on this demonstration, and like you said, the figure 8 and the perfect design, it sounds like something was intelligent that was with it. I've heard stories of lights in forests, all around the world, especially Ireland with elementals, and they will talk about orbs and lights. And I've seen some stuff that I can't explain, but that sighting, it's extreme to have that yourself, but to have a group of people to witness that at the same time is just next level.
It was two different kind, if I may tell you. The first time I saw it, it wasn't even a bright orb-like circle. It was like a glowing oval type of a pastel. I talk like a burnt umber color. Like back in the 70s, if you're old enough to remember, I know you guys are, we used to have these metal flashlights, and we would put our eye up to the bulb and watch it die out.
Wow.
And it was like a burnt umber color. That's what it reminded me of.
This sort of segues you know, Evan, you sent me some pictures. I'm just sort of sorting through some pictures here, but I want to ask you about. I feel like this sort of segues into. Hold on, let me get this picture up.
I have to get my glasses on.
Yeah, hold on. Something's not behaving. Hold on. Oh, duh. Okay. I feel like this sort of segues into this place. Could you tell us about this place, Evan?
Yeah.
And
Here
like,
we go.
like, I don't know a lot about this place.
Well, this is Skinwalker Ranch. This is very famous paranormal. If in the 70s, it was really known for their cattle being having their body parts taken out laser like just perfectly. The government has been there and done. It's been closed off for a long time, and it got bought by someone, I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's been on lockdown since. And if you show my slideshow, I have not that one. That's yeah, that is Skinwalker. But in the beginning, go to the beginning of the clip.
These are pictures you sent me.
Okay. Oh, I didn't.
So,
right. There was a picture of go through a car window. You might see.
hold on.
It's very.
Yep. Here you go. I got it. Boom.
So
stand by.
this is us.
This looks like you guys approaching the gate. Is that right?
That's right. Okay. So you see, and there's one more picture after the gentleman in the on the other side of the gate are carrying ARs and are like, who are you? You cannot get close to this place. And this is for the pilot of the Skinwalker Ranch TV show. I did the sizzle reel and the pilot for the Skinwalker TV show that was there. So this is before any of that.
Is this a government thing? Does a government?
It used to have. It was so unexplained that the government went in there and did a lot of testing on the ground itself. This enigmatic carvings there that are unexplained. Maybe in the TV show eventually they did get to it. I didn't do the first season, but when I got there, it was a group of people. Just tore through some of those photos, Drew.
Yeah, I am. What is this? What is this?
Okay, so right, what is that? So we did a bunch of LiDAR and subsolar like scanning of the property at the time, and there was something down there, and we dug this up. And I'm telling you,
you dug. Ugh.
We dug up. Right, that's a problem, right? They're saying, right?
There was a don't dig order, supposedly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we were there with the right folks, and we dug it up, and it looks like some 1950s, some sort of they were spaced out, these things around like in a pattern. And what you find out is there's a lot of testing going on there with what's. Yeah. And so looks kind of military, kind of like 50s sci-fi almost. It's like, well, what is it? It's a dish with some sort of something on it to triangulate, or some sort of shooting up. It's pointing up. So strange stuff there.
Let me, Craig, let me ask you, you seem to know of this place. I've never heard of it. How did this come on your radar screen? What do you know about Skinwalker?
I've just seen shows on it and read a lot online about it. It's a very famous place. They say it's like a possible energy vortex and a lot of strange happenings. You know, they say that what the Indians used to call Evan, help me out here.
A Skinwalker is a changeling. It's like
a changeling. Yeah.
It's a protector. It's also kind of ill. You know, dark.
Yeah, they say that that energies can sort of come about where you see a big dire wolf, for example, and they can change into different things. Basically, it's some kind of consciousness vortex to some other dimension. Possibly, these are the things they talk about, and I was always interested in stuff like that. So, There's stories of the first people that bought it. The dire wolf came up, killed one of their cows. They shot it. Nothing happened to it. It ran off. It disappeared. There's like a lot. And there was a don't dig order when the people sold it way back when it was first sold to the first people that bought it. They had a thing in the purchase contract. Don't dig. You have to contact us if you want to dig. So they say that digging in the ground can be a problem. It can release something, or I'm sure Evan knows a lot more about this than me, but it's very interesting.
Well, Bougie Hoffman says doors to alternate realities at Skinwalker.
Mm-hmm. It's not a joke. I had a what do you call it, like north south
compass.
I had a compass, and a certain spot the compass would spin, and that's no joke. Like, wow. Okay, what the hell's that? There are places that and this is true in Earth that have the certain energy based on polarity, and
in the paranormal field, we have those, and they're vortex and portals, places where they can enter from either the other side of the realities and stuff like that. And
they,
yes,
that's the real question mark. They, okay.
Yeah. I mean, in the 70s, it was famous in newspapers and stuff for the cattle that were being mutilated in a way,
cattle mutilation, right?
In a way that's very, precise.
Looks like a beautiful part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful land.
Yep. So it was crazy. What was going on there? If flip through some more photos, Drew. While I was there was a group of people that were researching it. And
is that the like control room pictures?
Yep, control room. Yep, exactly.
Let me find those. I saw that and I was confused what it was.
Right. So this is what I know this place was. I didn't know much about it either till I went there, and then I started saying, what is going on here? They must have a lot of money because they had this camper van blown out with monitors and
I'm seeing. Wow. Here I got the picture. Hold on. Here, this is in a. You're saying this is in the back of a truck?
No, it's in
this.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. So this is a cutting edge. I was like, because I know kind of tech stuff. I was like, well, this is expensive. So every part of this place is cameraed up, and with different stuff. They're experimenting with some high tech stuff, and they were no joke. I mean, I couldn't even post any of this stuff until the show aired and beyond, and they took it dead seriously. And I was like, what's Skinwalker Ranch? And now, because sometimes I get hired on a job, and I'm known for either adventure or paranormal stuff, so I get on some good gigs, and I was just like, what? And then the more I stay there, the more I was like, this place is very strange. They're taking readings of the Earth and the atmosphere, the stratosphere. I mean, they got all these experiments that they're doing. And this wasn't for a TV show. They're already doing it.
Oh, this is straight research. This isn't. They're not there doing. And Gina asks, where is this? Is it Arizona?
Utah. What part of Utah?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to Google it. I'm like, what are we doing today? Oh, Skinwalker Ranch. Okay, let's. Whoa.
They say that it was a cursed Indian area, maybe a burial ground. I'm not sure the exact nature of that, but was it the Cree Indians? I may have the wrong Indian.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of talk about that it's cursed by the Native Americans, or they say that it was a cursed part of the land.
And I can tell you, the Indians there, that is a very, very serious topic. In fact, they don't talk about it very much. They say you don't even mention it around them. It's that serious.
You don't say the word.
I live up in New York.
How do you pronounce this? In Uintah County, Utah, is where it is. And here's another photo of, and I found this one. I think this really kind of,
It's Uintah.
Got it.
Uintah.
This guy, he's even looking at himself. If anything kind of comes behind him. That's how scared these
Wow.
guys. They're scared as hell, man, and rightfully so. When my meter, my compass went spinning, and then we found that thing, and it was, the ground was touched since whoever, and it was really strange. The land is very, yeah, how about that? So the skinwalker turns in changeling into like a wolf type of thing. Huge wolf prints there, huge.
Yeah, those are big.
Yeah, so what? I mean, look at that. It could even be
I
a
gotta
bear.
say, Evan, so I live in upstate New York where we have gray wolves, and those are massive prints with the claws and everything. And we actually have a print up here that I want to show you when you come up, and it's about that size. I actually live next to the Akwesasne Mohawk Reservation, and they talk about the Janasquad, which is the word for Bigfoot, but they also talk about the dogman and giant wolves that live in the area of the woods up here in the Adirondacks. And I have
Dogman.
about that size, and I'm talking almost a softball size.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that print.
Question from Hobo Case: are those old prints or considered relatively current?
I shot them. Those are from mud maybe a few days before. I mean, I wasn't a big crew. It's just me and the producer. That's how I roll when I do these presentations, and I just go bug out. And I'll be back and go shoot some B-roll, and I'm looking, all of a sudden I'm like, I need something for evidence or some B-roll that helps sell this TV show. Well, I found those, and a lot of other carvings, lots of American Indian carvings, and caves. There's caves there. I mean, this place is really interesting. And the more I got to know it, which is good, I didn't know anything about it, because because I'm just dumb luck, I go find stuff.
Yeah.
Did you deal with any aerial phenomena? See anything in the air?
No, we didn't. But
lights or anything?
We didn't have enough time to, like, I'm sure the TV show, I didn't see the season. I'm sure they've done every single thing possible for that. But when I was there, it felt real pure, real raw. These people, we just came upon these people. They knew we were coming, and they had to trust us. And they trusted the producer who talked his way in. And that's a whole nother thing, how to do that. But once they meet me, I'm just part of the gang, and I'm good like that. I could slip into any environment as a filmmaker and just join. I love suspending belief. I love doing that, and then I'm in. Like, what's going on? Oh, Skinwalker, Google. Okay, I'm down. Let's do this. Yeah, it's fun as hell. I tell you what.
It's a great gig. Yeah,
I love it. It's super fun. It's storytelling, and in a way using this kind of unexplained stuff to tell stories, because it's really interesting to anyone. And then you tell a story, you tell history about the American Indians. All of a sudden, you're getting all these other things couched in this storytelling, and it just really turns me on. It's cool.
I've asked you, when we've talked, like, oh, you're out on the road this week. What are you doing? And you say to me, I find out the morning. He's like, I find out the morning that we get in the van. He's like, I don't even want to know anymore until I get in the van. He says it's better that way. And they just tell me, what are we doing today? And we just go. Because I used to say,
sounds like a musician.
Yeah. Sounds like being in a band, but I guess that makes sense.
And saying that, I've been to places that we're not doing paranormal stuff, like Egypt. Do you have any Egypt stuff there? It's the most bones and nasty, just human remains, and also in Indonesia. Drew could tour me through some stuff that, if we were doing a paranormal investigation, it would be something else.
There you are, right in the mix.
Right. So we've done so many stories in Egypt, and this is not your everyday stuff. These are pyramids and tombs in the middle of nowhere, and we get hoisted down on.
I meant to ask you, Ev. I meant to ask you about. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I'm looking for this one King Tut. Well, go on. I'm looking.
Yeah, I mean, I did a paranormal investigation, Destination Truth, in King Tut's tomb all night. We had to value.
I got it. Right.
We had to value the kings all night. for $5,000, cash. You could do a lot, not anymore, maybe. Yeah.
What's this?
This is a typical day on Expedition Unknown where we get winched down to some hole that, and below there is tombs and bones and just real, like you're breathing in, the funk of 40,000 years instead of the Michael Jackson song, it's something else. And we weren't there. We were there for historical and telling stories about Akhenaten, one of the pharaohs there. And speaking of Akhenaten, he is not, some people say he's not of this earth, the way he's shaped, the way he is. So that's a whole nother maybe topic we can talk about. And if y'all want to Google Akhenaten, you'll start to realize what I'm talking about. He's one of the pharaohs that was very misshapen, and they after he died, they carved his name out of everything. I mean, you name it. Yeah, there you go. Every day. And
Wow.
that's, yeah. I mean, come on. How much whoo goes flying out of that thing? Yeah. I mean, that's just one. I mean, that was a tomb, and you go to another one. And those are grave robbers that go in there every 100-something years, and they just start poking through stuff.
Let me ask about something like this. This is from the Egypt photos that you sent me. I guess. I mean.
Okay, so yeah, we were delving into these are hieroglyphs that no one sees. This is deep, and there's this device that they're messing with, and they look like they're smaller folks. Some people say they're Anunnaki, which is the one of the first civilizations coming out of Babylonia, Iran, which is right now. And the device that there is some sort of energy device that is very interesting. So I always take photos of stuff like that. I can only speculate, but it's very interesting. And I have a whole series of photos, which I'll be putting online, of stuff that's like, oh, that's a spaceship. Oh, that's an alien, but to them, who knows? It could be something else, but it's a lost civilization. You don't really know much about the early Egypt stuff.
I like this one. This is I know with Josh, you do a lot of diving, because I guess Josh's dad, had a dive shop, and he grew up as a diver, right?
Well, he was Josh's dad was an underwater welder. He was a deep sea construction worker. So the real, with the bell helmet and everything. So Josh and I do all the diving, and this is Queen Mary. We're diving. We did a ghost hunt at the Queen Mary, and we dove the bottom of the Queen Mary, the big rudders and stuff, and spooky. I mean, so spooky.
That is great. Wow.
So spooky. And of course, you hear, your brain is, I hear things, I see things. It's like you just caught up, and not only am I going to get lost in the dark? Am my tank going to be enough air? And then you have to film. Is it in focus? And then all this other stuff. Interesting thing about one of I don't have pictures right now, but we dove Omaha Beach in France. It was an over 100-foot dive. It's very dark, very scary. U-boats twisted. I mean, just tanks and everything. And it felt really spooky, ghosty. It felt like it's a place that was definitely haunted because so many people died there. And just the lighting, and it was just so deep. And we're on a boat that it kind of went sideways down. So you think you're going straight, but you're actually going down. You got to check and make sure, oh shit, I'm at 130 now. I got to get up, that was really, really scary. So we weren't there for a ghost hunt, but again, places that I've been that are haunted that would love to come back to. And there's Josh Gates and me. He's Josh Gates is, I could definitely say, one of my best friends. I've been working with him for 15 years. I'm on camera a lot. He knows I'm good and I'm funny sometimes, and I bring the ruckus. And I'm always there. I'm always right there with that. we go and we really look for things. So we use metal detectors a lot, and he's really good at it. Listening, beep beep. Oh, that's gold. Boop boop. Silver. You know, you can really kind of hone in on it. And what we like to do is bring ourselves to the time period where this happened. We're not finding treasure, but we'll find something that brings us there. Yeah, this is in Siberia.
Is that a mammoth, a woolly mammoth skull?
Right, woolly mammoth skull. This is taken out of the permafrost in Siberia. We're doing a piece on DNA, trying to redo the mammoth with existing DNA.
Sounds like Jurassic Park.
It's exactly in up in Siberia. There's this permafrost, and they got these illegal placer miners, which they spray water and it just melts and his bones sticking out. And we went undercover there, and it was real gangster up there. What was going on, and that's pretty gnarly stuff. And it was heavy too, heavy. But those tusks, if they find mammoth tusks, they're worth $50,000 each. So there's a whole business going on up there. It's fucked up. They're really messing with the earth, but so do we. You know.
Hey, I got to take a sponsor break. Donna, you're welcome to come back and hang out with us if you want, and kick in and chime in if you want after the sponsor break. It's up to you. Evan and everybody else. So let me take the sponsor break, and I'll see you guys back in a couple of minutes. Okay.
Yep, and the best stories yet to come, guys. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do another hour 45 minutes. So I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
There you have it. Happy Halloween. I thought I'd wear my Frank Zappa shirt, being he was a big Halloween guy, you know. So welcome to the show, the Halloween show. We're going to do another hour. In the meantime, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be back in a few.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey guys, Vlad from Organic Grill. As you can see, we're in a new location on West 3rd Street, right by Blue Note and Comedy Central. The place is bigger, kitchen is bigger, we have more varieties, more food. We are looking forward to treat you guys with great dishes. All Hardcore Chronicles, welcome to Organic Grill. We are going to serve all the events as we usually do, and we are happy to see you guys.
Peace, what it do? Welcome to NYHC Comics at 117 Main Street, Dobbs, Surrey, New York. I'm Debo the Pro with my homie
Lee Farley.
Welcome to the spot. Specializing in yesterday's and today's comic books, rare CGCs, toys, collectibles.
Got skateboards, old school tapes, Magic the Gathering, Warhammer.
Video games, original art pieces by your favorite New York City and worldwide artists. Let's go. Skate decks all day, baby.
We also have the young reader section here for like 10 and under. Pops. People love the Pops.
Star Wars! We are New York hardcore. We always rep the scene. Let's get it on.
What's happening? And we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Want to talk real quick, couple of things. Where is my... I want to talk about a couple upcoming... You know what? A couple of events. After the show's done, I'm heading downtown because the Drew Stone Hit Squad's playing Organic Grill. If you're in New York tonight, come on down. We'll be playing a set. It'll be a lot of fun. So right when this is done, I got to put my other game face on. Couple of events. Saturday, November 11th, I am moderating the Mike Graham book event from Channel 3 at Generation Records. And the day after that, come on now, it's the Incendiary Device record release show with Rebelmatic, The Craze, Cortisol, and Pembroke. It is an all ages Sunday matinee on the Bowery. It's also a book signing, the New York Hardcore Chronicles, Volume 2, 1990 to 1999, is now available, and it can be purchased at www.stonefilmsnyc.com. There it is. There's only 30 of the first book left. So there you go. Pick it up. www.stonefilmsnyc.com. The new book, Volume 2, is out. The first book, there's 30 copies left. So make your move. Don't be shy. Purchase the first book. www.stonefilmsnyc.com. Also, of course, Women of the Pit event at C Squat on November 17th, and the Holiday Slamboree is December 17th. Also want to mention upcoming shows. Sorry, I didn't set this stuff up beforehand, but coming up next week, 1 week from today, Giz Butt is on the show from English Dogs, Prodigy, Janice Stark, and the Destructors. Couple days after that, this is a great one. Youth is on the show from Killing Joke. He played with Paul McCartney. Of course, he produced The Verve and Pink Floyd and The Orb. This is going to be a great one. A week after that, it is the return of the Lunatic. Jack Grisham will be on the show at last to talk about his Ignore Heroes film. Excited about that. Come on now, the non-residents are on November 18th. Joe Nelson, original singer of Ignite, the man behind Trust Records. Of course, they just reissued the SSD Control record, is on November 26th. Old friend Johnny Santos from Spineshank and Silent Civilian is December 3rd. Just book this. Johnny Temple from Girls Against Boys and Soulside and Fake Names with our friend Brian Baker and Akashic Books is on Wednesday, December 13th. Mike from Channel 3 is Wednesday, December 27th. And the 300 show with Ray Capo. That's right. Craig Satari's old bandmate from Youth of Today is on December 20th. So it's all going down. Don't be shy. And then, of course, listen, if you're down in Mexico, me and Craig Satari are going to be down there on Friday. We are heading down there for the Heaven and Hell Fest. I'm going down with Biohazard. They're headlining the stage. On the stage is Biohazard, Suicidal Tendencies, A Specimen, a band I don't know, The Casualties, Sick of It All. It's great. We get to see our friends in Slipknot, our friends in El Nino. I'm going down for 1 day. So I'm not going to be around for Guns N' Roses, unfortunately, and Billy Idol and all that. But we are certainly excited about that. That said, let me make sure everything is good. Yeah, hell of a lineup, right? Let's bring our guests back on, starting with my brother, Evan B. Stone, Jack from J&J Adventures, and Craig Ahead. That said, hey, let's kick it off with you, Craig. I know you've had some paranormal experiences. Could you hip us to one? Maybe the I know there's the infamous Sick of It All house. Can you give us some perspective?
Yeah, okay.
On that?
Okay, before I say that, I want to ask you, you mentioned the show at C Squad. Is that the same C Squad where the Bad Brains played with the hole in the ceiling? Is that the same C Squad these days?
I don't know.
It's weird. I saw the
But
Bad Brains
is,
there in like 87. There was a hole. It started raining out to the whole place.
No, this is in the basement of C Squad.
Okay,
but this C Squad has been there forever. This is C Squad.
It might be the same spot. They had the big hole in the roof. It was great. Okay, so there was an apartment in Flushing, sort of near College Point, Whitestone, And we have a friend named John. His nickname is Duck. So Duck's mother bought this apartment. So they used to live in Elmsford, which is in Westchester. So they bought this apartment so that Duck could be closer to his friends, which is like Armand, myself, Pete, Lou. This was all probably in 1987. So we were all teenagers. And they moved into the apartment. Everything was okay. And we'd all stay over there all the time. It was like a party house. So this one person moved in that was very into the whole Wiccan thing and was technically a witch and would astral project and would always talk about this. And back then we were all like, what are you talking about? What is that? But as soon as this person came, weird things started happening in the house. Like, for example, I slept over one night and I was sleeping in the living room. And I went to sleep. And in the middle of the night, I get woken up by the entire kitchen is going crazy, like slamming everything noise. I jump off the floor, like, what the hell is that? I go in the kitchen. All the cabinets are open. Everything's all over the place. And, you know, that's a classic, typical thing you'd hear about a haunted place. But the entire cabinets were going crazy, and it woke me up. And I was pretty shook. I went back to bed. But things started sort of building up after that. Like Rob Echevarria, who used to be in Straight Ahead with me, and yeah, Das, he lived there for a little while, and he would see a little red dot in the closet. And it would be floating around the closet. And he would watch this thing. And at first he's like, what is that? And it would like kind of go all over the place. And he'd close his eyes. And he said after a while, what started happening is when he tried to go to sleep, he'd get pushed down on heavy weight on his chest. He would hear things and see things. And there was some type of little red dot that apparently was connected to something or other that would happen in there. And he was like, I can't sleep because this thing's like attacking me in my sleep. And it's waking me up all the time, and there's all these noises. Things would roll off shelves, hit the ground, and roll in a way they shouldn't have been able to roll. One of the worst stories, like a lot of things like that would happen. And one of the scariest things that happened, I wasn't a part of this, but Pete, my guitar player, now he seems to have some sort of connection to this stuff. He seems to get the most affected by this, not affected, but he's the most in contact with this type of energy, whatever it may be. He and Duck were going out one night, and they were like, hey, let's get something to eat. So they went down to Duck's car to get something to eat. So they were going to drive to like a deli or a diner or whatever. And they come downstairs to Duck's car, and it was parked right across the street. This apartment was on the second floor. And Pete says to Duck, hey, I thought you shut off the kitchen light. And Duck's like, I did. And the light's on in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, a black figure, like a woman in what looks, but all black, looks like she's in a wedding dress, I guess, by the outline, walks up to the window, the light's on, and just this black figure kind of floats up to the window and stands there for a second. Bang, the lights go out, and there's nothing there. And they were just both like, what the hell was that? So this apartment had a lot of stuff like that. A lot of weird stuff. And the whole time that everyone was there, this was happening. And I remember our friend John's mother, rest her soul, she eventually moved in, and we weren't really staying there at that point because they bought the house, and we lived there all for like 6 months, kind of like hung out and partied. And then she moved in. And she would say things like, you would go over to visit Doc, and his mother would be there, and she'd be in the other room, and you'd hear her do things like, oh, would you stop it already and just leave me alone? And she wasn't senile. But, Duck would say, yeah, like things, like there was like interactions she'd have with whatever was there, and it would like bother her. The thing would like, if you were taking a shower, it would open the door and turn the kitchen sink on while you were showering. Meanwhile, the kitchen sink was off. So like really strange things, like high-powered ghost stuff that people that listen to this might not believe, but these are things that really happened. I mean, it's just craziness. Can't explain it.
Let me ask you, Jack. Are certain people more susceptible and open to this sort of stuff than others?
Oh, absolutely. I think if you take the mindset that it is a possibility, that there's the realm of possibility, you're open up more to it, for sure. There's been a lot of, that story right there, that gave me chills, and I've been doing this for 20 years. And if I experienced something like that, I'd be like, okay, I need to set up GoPros in this house and this apartment. I want to.
This is 87.
Right.
That's what I want to do. I just went to Hinsdale House, and that's like a really, really terrifying place too. And when I be an investigator, you go into places and you have to be a little bit skeptical and a believer at the same time, because you have to take that mindset. And you know, when I went to Hinsdale, I've heard so many stories. Ed and Lorraine Warren went there in the 70s. It had an exorcism of the house. You know, there's been hundreds to thousands of teams that have gone here. And when I entered there, I'm thinking, okay, you know, is there anything that's going to happen? I'm trying to keep that mindset. And I actually did send Drew a clip before we started the show of it's actually I'm setting up a camera in this this little part of the house where there's supposed to be shadow people, and it ends up actually capturing somebody walking behind me. And then at one point, when it comes back, you can see through it.
Is that
wow?
Is that
It'd be the red clip?
Oh, red clip. What is the Ev? What is this that you sent me?
So this is Hinsdale House. Oh, this
no,
is
this is when Jack was talking about. He sent me some footage, and remember, it was like, and you didn't. No one was there, and they were saying, and it was that story. This is what he gave me, and this is what I enhanced. These are two separate clips. The looks like there's a staff or something that person's holding that moves in different frames, and it looks like two of them, two different beings.
Wow.
So it looks like a woman actually on the right. Now I'm looking at it with the breasts.
Yeah.
So and this is, and I always record how I do it. So it's no funny business except that I'm cleaning up using AI. You know that it wouldn't say this is. You know, when you use AI, you got to say, well, this is just another technique to use. It's not, you're not going to say this is it because it's AI said so, because
and
it takes images and enhances them to its best ability.
I don't know if I told you, Evan, but that figure was captured right down the road where we caught that first thing that got us talking.
Is this what's the second one? What's the second one here, Evan? Is this?
That's the same picture.
That's okay. That's the okay. Got it.
So
looks almost like a person with a sword. Looks like a Jedi with a sword or something.
Well, the weird part is that
Johanna says it looks like a woman holding her arm. That's what it looks like to me.
I mean, I can see that with it like this. This area right here is on the Oswegatchie River, and this is part where the Civil War, the soldiers. What if it's a soldier carrying a gun like this?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to ask. Wow. I wanted to ask that question. Actually,
I'm loving this. By the way, I just got to say it for the record. This is great.
We're onto something.
Like a kid in the candy store right now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a question as being sort of I'm an outsider. You know, I'm like a New York guy. You know, I live in an apartment. Like,
what am I, chopped liver over here?
But you're upstate. You're upstate. You're outside. I'm like, I'm a New York
right
guy.
now. Yeah, I didn't grow up there.
But
I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was going to say now. Fuck.
What makes? I think you were trying to say you're a city mouse and you don't get exposed to any of this, maybe.
No.
There's a lot of history in the city as well.
I got it. I remember. So I'm assuming that some places, like you mentioned a Civil War battlefield, and Evan, you mentioned, Egypt. I'm assuming that some places are just due to sort of like what's happened in this particular geographic location. Would that constitute like an obvious hotspot for paranormal activity?
I think we have more residual a lot when you get those kind of areas. You get a residual haunt that, it's like a recording of something that's happened that's so dramatic in those people's lives. I mean, these guys were getting up, they're getting their weapons ready, their belongings, and they're heading to where they don't know if they're going to come back home. And like Evan with Egypt, I mean, that there's so much there that it's the same kind of thing.
It's an imprint.
Yeah, it is.
That makes sense.
There's a few different kind of ghosts.
Yeah, I know. There's one called. What I know is it's like a residual. It's like an echo, right?
But that being said, what about when you have a conscious energy that is interacting you in the moment? So I think there are imprints, which it all goes to time, not necessarily being linear. But I'm not going to take us down that rabbit hole. But yeah, it's like, so, I think that everything's happening all at once in a sense, but I won't go into it too much. But you get imprints, but you may also get conscious energy that is non-physical that like is out there and is expressing itself in this dimension, this frequency as best as it can.
Evan, walk us through it. There's different kinds of ghosts, or is that right? To
Yeah,
say?
well, there's a residual, which is like a loop. Let's just say some old man, someone walks down a hallway their whole life, and then they died and they don't even know they're dead. They're still walking down that hallway. You can't really interact with them, and that's called a residual. There's also a poltergeist, which you all see in the movie, which is an actual physical, where it's kind of bad and it's like touching you for bad reasons. Then there's the shadow creatures. But I'm going to tell you guys my story. Maybe it could help. My first wife, Katrina, passed away. And when she did, she died just real all of a sudden. And I had two people come to me that were, one was a lawyer and one was a realtor, that were just not kooky, ghost folks at all. And they told me the same thing. They said, Katrina's wants me to tell you something. And it was really cool, so then I knew that maybe something is there, that love, when it's this, I think we all have this energy. And then if this unfinished business that is had, and you have to say something, but you can't, I think that message is something that could go past dimensions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it makes
I
a
mean,
lot of sense.
and a lot of people, when their loved one passes, it's just right in that moment, there's things that are happening. And a lot of times you don't know it. You gotta see the signs, and they're right in front of you. And once you know about that, about opening up your doors of perception, as you say, I think you can see it more, but personally, I don't like to have my doors open, because it's distracting. But people do come out from out of a crowd. People come, hey, and they tell me stuff. And I'm like, gosh. That's why when I do these things, usually something happens. And I'm not one to be an expert at it. I'm just one who's documenting it. And that's why I got, Jack here to help me with that. So I do think that now also when you think about Bigfoot, you think about Chupacabra, you think all these mythical creatures. And that's another thing that is in this kind of paranormal world. I believe those are all the same thing. I think people are seeing what they see is folklore of what they're used to. I know American Indians, their tribes, they have, every single tribe has a hairy beast, a Bigfoot story. And they're all separate. They're all kind of similar. So I personally think that if you're seeing a fairy or a leprechaun or, Bigfoot or something, maybe even spirits, I think you're all seeing the same thing. It's an energy. It's a ball of energy. It's something we don't know and understand. And so we look at it any way we want to see that makes sense to us. And our folklore, what we've been taught, what a ghost looks, or we've been taught what a Bigfoot looks. So there.
Yeah.
You see, it's like you're seeing it through the eyes of a human being in this reality. So you sort of have to channel it through what you're used to, in a sense.
You have to rationalize it,
There's a famous story.
I guess you have to interpret it with the tools, the only tools that you have.
Eyes, ears, yeah, exactly.
Right. There's a famous story of American Indians, Native Americans, who saw the boats from the West come for the first time. You know about this story, and they didn't know what they were looking at, so they didn't see it at all. Even though there were all these boats coming with guys with armor on, like in the name of Jesus, like gonna kill him for the gold. Right? They didn't know that yet. But they didn't see it until it was ashore, and then they were like, "Well, what is this?" It's like looking at clouds and saying, "Oh, I see something." You're like, "I don't know," and then all of a sudden, "Oh, I do."
Yeah, if you don't have a reference point for it, then how does it register? John, our good friend John Angeli asks, tell Craig to talk about the incident at Stigmas. Did something happen? Is there a Vinny Stigma, godfather of New York hardcore?
There's a Vinny Stigma ghost story. Yeah.
Now, I do know, because I have known Vinny Stigma pretty much my whole adult life. He's been living in the same building in Little Italy that I think he was born in that building, right?
He was born. He doesn't see it, though. It doesn't come to him for whatever reason.
Right.
You know? They never bothered Mike Gallo either, but, you know, Gallo's probably not paying attention. Mikey, how you doing, buddy? Promise Mike Gallo I'd talk scratch on him. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So I would say it's Stigma's house. I played in Agnostic Front from 1987 to 1993. So I would sleep at Vinny's house. Basically, we hung out every day. I pretty much lived at his house. We'd go on tour. We'd make some money. We'd eat sushi every night until we threw up and the money was gone. So I was staying at Stigma's house 150th time I stayed over. Didn't expect anything weird. He had bunk beds, and if you go in his apartment, there's basically his bedroom, and then diagonally across from his bedroom is the kitchen, and there's a little foyer with a bathroom. So you can see the front door when you're laying down in bed. He had bunk beds. He and his girlfriend was sleeping on the top bunk. I was sleeping on the bottom bunk. Middle of the night, I'm laying facing the wall. I'm trying to condense it. I hear the door open. I wake up. I look over. I see a big figure coming in the door, like wearing a big rimmed hat and a big overcoat. It looked like the Quaker Oat Man, but it was dark and smoky. And I thought, well, I just woke up. I'm half asleep. I thought it was his cousin Charlie, rest his soul, who was a night owl. And Charlie would come and wake me up. Hey, kid, loan me $10. And he'd go out and have a drink or whatever. So I'm looking at him. I go, oh, Charlie's going to ask me for money again. Let me just go back to sleep. So I pretend I'm asleep. He walks up to the bed. He's standing on whatever this is standing right over the bed. And I'm thinking, oh, he's going to wake me up. What a pain in the ass he's going to be. And I'm laying like this. And all of a sudden, two gigantic hands push me down onto the bed to the point where I'm completely pressed on the bed. And boom, 2 seconds later, they're gone. I jump up. I turn all the lights on. Vinny's like, kid, shut the lights off. Be quiet. Stop. You know what I mean? What are you doing? And I'm saying, something just grabbed me. I can't believe it. I look in the living room. The door's locked. There's nobody there. There's nothing happening. I can't believe it. He yells at me. Eventually, I sit in the kitchen for a while, and eventually I go back to sleep. But I'm totally freaked out. So I stay over his house again a few days later, or maybe the next night, whatever it was. Nothing happens once or twice more. About a week later, I'm at his house. We probably had another gig that weekend. I sleep over, and I hear the door open in the same manner, and it wakes me up, and I'm laying facing the wall. Now, it's a brick wall that I'm up against. Old tenement building, the wall's brick. It was the middle of the summer, so the AC's on high. Blasting AC, you hear it, freezing cold air. So as soon as I wake up, I think to myself, I can sense it's the same thing. I don't look at it, but I see it, and it sees me, and we somehow almost telepathically communicate. The thing is menacing, focused on me, and in my mind, I'm kind of not talking back to the thing, but I know it's there, and it's coming for me, and vice versa. So I immediately put my hand on the wall and touch the brick, and the brick is ice cold and slightly wet because it's a brick wall in the AC. And I say to myself, all right, I'm awake. And I just lay down the same way I was. I don't even look at it. And I can see it in my mind's eye walking towards me. And I'm trying to hold strong, defying it, saying, I'm not scared of you. It's angry coming at me. The thing stands over the bed in the same manner. Now, I know it's not his cousin. I know it's whatever the hell that thing was. I can feel it. It's the same thing. It's almost like we're picking up where we left off, but now I'm aware of it. The thing stands over the bed in the same way. I'm nervous, but I hold my ground, right? Then all of a sudden, right next to my face, there's black smoke, like a face, but it's like smoke, almost like brown black smoke. And I hear this sound like metallic breathing real quick. Like two little breaths. And then all of a sudden from there, boom, I get slammed down again. And I'm held on the bed. And the thing lets go. And I pop up so hard that I hit my head on the top bunk. Vinny and his girlfriend wake up, start yelling at me. I go in the living room. I turn the lights on, not as much as last time. I'm freaked out, but eventually I just say to myself, the door's locked. I go, okay, this was some kind of thing. I go back to bed, and the next day we go to Vinny's mother's house, rest her soul, for pasta. She'd make Sunday pasta every Sunday. It was the best pasta you ever had in your life. And so I go down, and she's stirring the gravy, and we're about to eat, and her name was Teresa. I say, Teddy, listen, this thing happened to me less than a week ago. It happened again the other night. What is this? What's the story? And she's stirring the gravy, and she kind of gives me a little bit of an attitude. She goes, oh, we're just crazy old ladies in this building, right? Thinking I'm messing with her, I think. I think she thinks I'm kind of heard about it, and maybe I'm messing with her. And she gives me that attitude. And I go, no, I'm serious. This thing happened to me. And she goes, all right. Sometimes my friend will come out in the middle of the night to get a glass of water from the kitchen, and she'll see a thing like that. Big thing with a hat and a coat, gigantic thing, standing in the corner. She'll look at it, she'll look away, and when she looks back, it's not there. My other friend sees it in the hallway, always late at night. And and wow. she kind of just makes a face and she looks away and she goes like, well, what do we know? We're just crazy old ladies. Gives me like that routine, So she said to me after that, and here's where you play the Twilight Zone music. She goes, I will tell you this, the entire building, this whole area was built on an early settler's graveyard, because then there's an historic graveyard between his building and the church next door. You can only see from the building. You can't see it from the street. It's like a 15 by 15.
It's in the courtyard. In
the courtyard that you can't get through that from the street. And it's like a first settlers of New York graveyard, and it's built on this graveyard. And I got attacked by the damn Quaker Oat Man, which is a Quaker, the first settlers of New York, these Dutch settlers. And I got attacked by it twice, and that's the story.
So the reason I'm over here, like, I don't know if you can see me twitch, and I saw Drew like muted the mic, unmuted it. I'm sitting over here because it's called the Hat Man. It's a shadow person.
It was Hat Man, yes.
All around the world. And where I had my first paranormal experience, when the one I was telling you guys when I first came in,
I called him the Quaker Oat Man. Then I found out what happened. I was like, "That's the guy that got me."
It's that wide brim hat. And the thing I got attacked by when I was a kid is another version of that. It's called a shadow person or a shadow demon. And when you started saying the black smoke, that's when it just was like, okay, like that just got me, because when that thing was floating outside my window when I was 8 years old, I saw the black smoke. And the face the only way I've been able to describe it is like a Dementor from Harry Potter. The smoke that comes off of it, I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I was literally standing on the edge of my bed.
I could move, but I was like half asleep, but I could move.
Yeah, the thing is, it was like I had sleep paralysis but awake, and I could not scream. I was just breathing like heavily, and I could see my breath. My room was cold, and this thing turned and started to reach, and the hands were like flesh and skeleton bones. And I remember seeing light come out of my mouth towards its mouth. And that's when I told the demonologist when I was 15 this, he said it's called a soul eater or a demon, a shadow demon.
Not a good name. I don't like that name.
I don't either. I'm like, just to call a shadow person, I'm fine with that. But and they said, so I don't talk about this much because being, scientifically, I like to go after ghosts and I don't like to talk about the other part, but I'm a psychic empath. So I've dealt with a lot of things ever since after that happened. Before I was 8 years old, I never really had, the ability to sense things until after that thing happened. And the demonologist actually explained that there are a lot of people that after that light comes out of their mouth, it's almost like they're taking a part of your soul and you're neck to being able to see through the veil onto the other side. And I've seen the Hat Man actually on my parents' property. The Quaker hat is spot on. It's the wide brim, the short. It looks like a top hat, but it's shorter.
It's like the Quaker Oat Man, but thinner and taller.
Yes, absolutely, like almost 7 feet tall. The thing's massive.
It looks big.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you're an empath means they're attracted to you because they can sense, I guess, that you have that ability.
What was that? An empath?
Empath. So it's somebody
with an I or an E? With an I?
With an E.
Oh, an empath. Got it.
Yeah, empath. Yeah.
Like empathy.
So it's a person that can read not only the living but the dead. They can sense energies of negative or good spirits.
Like empathy.
Empathy. Right? Yes, absolutely. Yep.
So hey, let's do this. Let me take a real quick sponsor break, and let's come back and let's take some questions from around the world. Okay.
Okay.
See you guys in a minute. That's right. This is it. Funny meeting you here. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by blah, 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 and Upstate Records. They're a New York-based DIY independent metal and hardcore label. Founded in 2017, they broke into the scene with their inaugural 26-band compilation, and since then have churned out over 80 releases in their brief 5-year history. Out now are new releases by Mark Rizzo's band Revenge Beast, Carl from Earth Crisis' Freya, Fury of 5 Angry Corpses, and a few more surprises in the works. Check them out and a whole lot more at www.upstaterecordsnewyork.com and use the code STONE10 for 10% off. Looking for extreme music? DTF Vinyl has got you, my friend. Located on 13th Ave in Fargo, North Dakota, we have the state's best selection of poink. You have any poink music? Punk, hardcore, metal, ska, oi, and more. But do you have poink? Can't make it in? Shop online from anywhere in the country at www.dtfmvinyldistrict.com. DTFM Vinyl, where the policy still is and always will be death to false metal. That said, just a reminder, 1 week from today, there'll be no Wednesday show, but 1 week from today, Gizbutt is on the show. 1 week from today, I'll be going down to Mexico with Biohazard. Things are moving along with that. I saw a super chat function. Hey, Tobias, I saw your super chat function. Thank you. If anybody wants to contribute to the show, please, a super chat is a great way to do it. You go to the front of the line. If anybody has any questions, any kind of questions for any of our guests today, post them up now. We're gonna do at least another 20 minutes here. Tobias, repost if you can. That said, if you are looking to support the show, there is a Patreon page. Support the show on Patreon. There it is. www.patreon.com/Drew Stone. Come on, get up, get down. The show needs your support. Thank all the patrons out there. All patrons got the book for free. As a patron, you get the book for free. You're also going to get the Incendiary Device record that just is coming out on Bridge 9 Records. All patrons are going to get the Incendiary Device record for free. Pretty soon I'll be gathering up the addresses from everybody, but the ID record's coming out. They just announced it the other day. It's all very exciting. So all that's going down. Please support the show on Patreon. There's a PayPal address there, or do a super chat. If you do a super chat, comes through in color. I can't miss it. Ask a question. You'll go right to the front of the line. Everything okay? Yes. Support. Don't lurk. Everything else. We need a couple more shows like this, Drew. Listen, I enjoy doing these shows. You think I want to talk? You think you want to talk? I want to talk about hardcore music every friggin' show. I like breaking it up, and of course, I love my brother and Craig, and it's great to have him on. So that said, let me clear the deck. Let's bring our guests on. Any questions you have? Come on now. As we say on the show, go deep, get weird. All right, Craig Satari, Evan Stone, and Jack from J&J. Let's see what's going on. Okay, here we go. Ev, this one's for you. AZ Gold Hunter asks, have you ever visited the Superstition Mountain area here in Arizona? Might be a good episode for Expedition Unknown with the Lost Dutchman legend and a lot of oddities.
No, I haven't, but that's something maybe JJ and I could go bust out. Yeah, no, Expedition Unknown, they don't do much paranormal stuff. We have, but it's more mysteries, gold, Nazi gold stuff, shit like that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. No, I haven't. I'd like to research that. I think
here's a good one, and Evan, and I have pictures that you sent me to go along with this, right? Yeah,
I did. If it's what I think it is.
I got this. What was Evan's most spiritually active place he has been to? And take it away, Evan.
Oh, okay. Well, this is okay. Pause it right there. This is a Nazca Lines.
Well, this is the first thing. Is this the desert that has the big images on it?
They're called Nazca Lines. You can't see them unless you're up in the air, and they're big.
That's just amazing.
And really, it's really enigmatic. It's really like a mystery because it's really uninhabitable there. It's the Atacama Desert. It's where those miners got trapped a while back, and I mean, there's so many really interesting things, and we're looking for these alien mummies. And then, well, there is one. They have, these people would mummify their loved ones. A lot of cultures do, and they would go to these museums in these small towns, and they would drag these things out. It was really nasty. But this one I thought particular was very something nightmare fuel right there. You know, what else? You know, this is not what we found. This is some yeah, right. This is like in a small little. I was like, okay, this is nuts. Yeah, look at this. You know, okay, so stop right there.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. Yeah.
This is one of the, this is maybe the scariest place on earth. It's something like you know, Tim Burton couldn't totally make up. It's in the desert. Kind of, we're doing this alien mummy thing. We stumbled upon this and we said, we can't investigate this now. We're gonna have to come back and make it its own episode because it's insane. And it was some miners, workers that they do surface mining and digging these big holes back in the 1700s, and they, when they died, they got buried there. There's no there's Josh. There's no there's no rainfall, so, and then there's a lot of looters that come, and this is what you come upon. It's just like something that's, again, out of a Tim Burton movie. It's just bizarre and really, you know, we did a whole ghost hunt here, and it was popping, as we say, popping. Yeah, I mean, you can't.
It looks like a lot of these graves have just been sort of like just looted. Just looted. They just throw them open, and
yeah, right? Really disrespectful. There's a lot of disrespect of the dead. Let's be clear here, everyone. These are real folks, and especially spirits out there. Real folks that died. This isn't like oh, look, a ghost and have fun with it. These are beings that are unfinished business or trapped, don't know they're dead, or it's, you know, they're have a unfinished business, and then once you realize that, you think maybe a little bit more like, ooh, wow, you're right. It's not some fun thing, you know. These are folks that passed away, and usually in a way that is they're scared, or it happened in real traumatic fashion, and that's why they're still around. There's no.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This looks like something out of like the Clint Eastwood at the end of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like this looks like a movie set. It looks really, really scary.
Did you guys ever go back and do a paranormal investigation here yet?
We did. We went back and did a whole thing on it.
And this is something. This is I'm actually somewhat familiar with this. This is outside of Mexico City, where Craig and I are going in a couple days. We're flying into Mexico City.
Yeah.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Hold it right there. So go back one if you could, and tell a little story. So this in Mexico City is built on a big lake. If you all know that, way or back in the day. And they built it on these reeds that built these little islands. And right in the middle of Mexico City is this big church, huge church. And if you will never get down there, but at the bottom of this church is this, what all those bones were. There's this, and you can see this all over the world, where if you were like what do they call it, a pastor there, you know, and you die, they keep your bones, they bring them up to the top, the vultures pick at it, and then they bring the bones down, and they make chandeliers and weird things out of them. It's like bizarre, but it's okay for them. It's not, right. But this is one of the, in the bottom of this huge church, there's these catacombs, and in the catacombs are all these bones. And that happens in Italy. There's different places that you'll see this. It's not uncommon. And this is the reeds, and there's an island called the Island of the Dolls, and it's based on this guy here, Don, who passed away, and is something about his daughter drowned, and his sorrow kind of, you know, it's really, and the whole island's full of these dolls. I mean, nightmare fuel for sure. And so we did an investigation there, and it's really, really gnarly. Josh there was one time I was filming Josh, and he was looking at a doll, and its eye popped open, and it's on camera, and we both just flew backwards and fucking holding each other. Go, ah, no way, you know.
Right.
These dolls have, I think, the sorrow of the guy who passed away. He put it was put into these dolls, kind of a Chucky type of thing, and so the legend has it, and it's very famous for that. I think we're the first team ever to do a investigation there.
I actually knew about this
Yeah.
island of the dolls out, and it's like this. The whole island is just.
It's a small island. It's like
yeah,
300 feet around. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see what else.
You want to show the Nazi gold thing? I'll tell you a funny story.
Before you know what I didn't I kind of skipped it, but I'll find it. Hold on.
Yo, it's a good story because
okay,
I don't tell it.
I was
ever,
like, you know
good.
what? It's like I don't know if I want to put I don't know if it's appropriate, but now that you're asking,
yeah, it has nothing to do with ghosts, but I'll tell you
tell
something
us
about
what's going on.
So we're doing
Now,
this story.
This is, and I can see this is the real. This is some real.
Shit.
Paraphernalia.
And you know they're into the
this
paranormal.
is the real
and all that.
paraphernalia.
We're doing a story on Hitler. He didn't die. But keep that polar right there. So go to the next one, the next photo. So I end up in this room. We're doing how he went to Venezuela. He never died. And in Venezuela, there's a German.
I got
town.
something on that.
Yeah, this German town. We went and investigated, and they all the confiscated stuff they put into a room, and it left me in the room with the sound guy. And I said, these motherfuckers, fuck these dudes. And my friend Mike, he's just like, you should fucking you should put feces, you should shit on them. And I took my hand, see that? And I stuck my finger deep up my butt. And then I wiped it. Watch the next picture. Watch, every one of them got it. Every one of those little items. And there was like some real ill stuff there. Go to the next one.
Hold on.
Yeah, you would too, right? I'll be like, I was like, owie, and then I was like, all over you. You get it too. This thing, and
there you go.
Yeah, all over, boy. I was just spreading it everywhere. Fuck them, and I'm Jewish, you know, so I had to. I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. So I felt like this is appropriate. Yep. I probably did something wrong, but not to me, you know. And,
Craig, you got something on this?
Well, I just have a guy in Argentina.
You can take the photo off.
I have a friend in Argentina who I know pretty well, and he, you know, I was talking to him about how Hitler allegedly went to Argentina, and he's like, my great grandmother was the maid at the El Eden Hotel, which is owned by a couple that was friends with Adolf Hitler, and they were Nazis. And he said, you know, my grandmother was Hitler's maid in the 1950s at the El Eden Hotel. But, you know, you couldn't talk about it back then. Like, you know, it wasn't something you talked about. He's like, I could talk about it now. And he brought a photo, and he showed me a photo of his grandmother with Adolf Hitler, an older Adolf Hitler. That's what he showed me. And this guy, his grandmother actually worked at the El Eden Hotel. You know, he said he got it from his family book, and he took it home, and that's the story.
Well, let's change the topic. It's a real.
Yeah. I'm not trying to offend him. I'm just saying, this guy was like, it's just crazy, but it's crazy. I saw that. I was like, what is this? Where did you get this? He goes, I got it from my family album. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, nobody was like, you know, back then you couldn't do anything about it. It just was what it was. Like, they were there, and if you made a big deal out of it, you'd get in trouble because they were like a powerful force or whatever. But that's a story. You know, I mean, maybe he got the photo, who knows from where, but it looked like age forwarded photo, you know, I don't know.
Jack, you got something on that?
Sorry, I was muted. I just realized. It's weird that you brought that up, because me and Evan were having a conversation a couple days ago about how history doesn't always teach what is the truth, and things get changed. And, you know, we have this thought that Adolf Hitler had passed away, and then you have this picture, this proof.
I don't have the picture. I just saw a photo. I can't say it was legit, but, you know, why would he tell me that?
It's just weird that we're all talking about this, because my great-grandfather was a 50 cal operator in the Army in World War II, and he actually got put on a special division to hunt down Hitler and was in the Wolf Slayer. And I have documentation about how when they came in, it was just like, it was kind of like what you described Chernobyl. Things were all just spread everywhere, and everything was gone. They were just gone. But no, it's just hearing that, and I hope you could get that photo, because that would be cool to see.
No. I even said like to him, hey, what? He's like, no. He goes, this is like he goes, it was always like something hush around here, like you don't mess with these people, just like don't get in their way and leave them alone, like you know what I mean. It was like a quiet thing, I guess. But it's also 45 years after. I guess the photo was taken like in the 50s, and this it's 2000 and something at the time, so it's like an old photo. But then again, that photo could have been from during the war of him with a lady. Who the hell knows? You know what I mean?
There's no way to date it. You know,
there's no way to date it. Exactly.
Here's a shot of the Stone Brothers in the Middle East, in Masada, a couple years ago, up on the mountain in Masada, when we were shooting a film, and a heavy place, right, Ev?
I did a ghost hunt there with Destination Truth, and we spent there all night on a full moon investigating, and we came out of that one with a big 0. Like, we felt nothing. It felt like, and sometimes it's like that. We didn't get any hits or anything happened, and it was perfect. We're thinking, oh man, full moon, Masada, we're gonna all night, it's bugging out and in little crevices and waiting and doing all the EVPs, and nothing. It was nothing. So, they might have been like, we left here 2,000 years ago. Like, how long could they stay around, right? I mean, so
it could be time. It could be you were there at a dry time. Maybe it picks up at a certain time of year.
That's it. That's the thing with
so many
Not every
tourists
time you go to a place are you going to get stuff. There's going to be times you're going to go to these big haunted places. Nothing's going to happen.
And there's thousands of tourists there every day, and then they leave. And I think the ghost was like, it's a F2, it's a wide open at a 6,000 ASA.
Yeah, I love this shot, Evan. Of you. I know, like working with Josh, you guys will find any excuse to get in the water. You know what I mean? Like we said, Josh's dad was, Josh, learned how to to dive at an early age, and you guys are always in the water. I remember you told me this. I said, what was the scariest time in the water? And you told me one time you guys were diving, I think outside Martha's Vineyard, and the water was, you told me it was the current was strong and the water was dark, and you're down there, you can barely see 5 feet in front of you, and it's a known place for sharks.
Oh yeah, there's so many of those times. Yeah,
no sharks for me.
And the water's dark. Dark. You can only see 5 feet.
They bump into you. They bite, and then they swim around, and they say, "Ooh, what happened?"
No good for me. Nope.
Yeah,
and that's the thing with investigating up where I am at. We have all that wildlife. I've had a 300-pound black bear come in the middle of a graveyard investigation.
That's right.
And my friend Eric's standing 15 feet from it. I'm like, "Come here, don't panic, get in the vehicle, because once they see you run, they're coming."
You never know what you're gonna send. If I saw a mountain lion on my property, right, in upstate New York, you're not supposed to have mountain lions there. I saw the thing clearly. I saw it twice, actually. My neighbors have both seen it. You never know.
Yeah.
There's a guy who has a trail cam. Oh, sorry.
Here's Camille asks, and Jack, this one's for you. Do you notice if more paranormal things happen on a full moon?
It's an interesting question. Honestly, I think sometimes yes. I think you get a little bit of a different feeling. I don't know if it's the perspective of us, like what you guys were saying with the seeing it with your own eyes and experiencing it. Maybe it's the idea of the full moon. I don't really know. I can't really, and that's the thing about the paranormal. You can't always answer every question. You don't know all the answers.
Sure.
The moon has a big effect on a lot of things. I mean, maybe it opens the doors. It affects, the tides and such. So who knows?
They say water's a natural conductor for paranormal activity. So maybe when the moon is affecting the water, it's affecting the paranormal activity.
Yeah.
We glazed right over Bigfoot. We barely talked about Bigfoot.
Trust me, if I could share the stories that I have from the Adirondack Mountains that are insane, and one of them is involving a state trooper, and during the middle of the day.
Jack, you should hit me up on Instagram. I'd love to be able to pick your brain a little bit. I'll take my motorcycle up there. I'll spend a week in the woods with my tent on my motorcycle looking for Bigfoot at the time of year he's supposed to be there. I'll do it.
You let me know time and date.
Evan Heggs asks, Tell us about William Shatner and the Shark Tank. And I know you got a chance to work with William Shatner. Big moment. Tell us real quick the Shark Tank story with William Shatner.
The Shark Week. We spent 5 days with Bill, and we went on a private plane to the Bahamas. And I'm the biggest Trekkie fan. He helped me. He's like my father figure, so to speak. And he was everything you'd think. He was Captain Kirk, really. I mean, he dove. He's 90 years old. He's big. You guys.
Shatner's hard, yeah.
And he was just everything. He dove with sharks, and he gave us. Here's a good one. He gave us on the private plane. He gave us 20 minutes. He says, "All right, guys, 20 minutes."
Did he go? Star Trek, 20 minutes, go.
Yeah, well, kind of, because he knew we're all. You guys go through if you want, and so we said, oh yeah, we're like episode 6, season 2. The Gorn, and we just got deep and like right away. He's like, let me tell you something. I don't remember anything about that. I remember I shot out a sequence, and
right.
They, how it is if you're in the film biz. You're like, you don't know what are we doing today, and but he did remember every producer and writer and the beef that he had at the time, and all about with the creators and everything.
Yeah, let me explain something to people out there for a second.
I like this beef with Finnegan, by the way. Good.
That's right.
Let me explain something. Is that when you see a film or a show, and like what they were asking about William Shatner, a lot of time actors come in and just shoot their scenes, and they're not involved in any of the other story. So they don't even know they don't even know what the overall thing is coming together. They think that everyone's on set watching the whole thing, and William Shatner probably came in and shot 15 scenes and was done, and then they shot everything else. So a lot of times, as an actor, you don't know. Things are shot out of sequence. Very rarely there's something shot.
Yeah, I'd say I was on a bear hug basis with him, and he's a great guy, and he's balls out. He's 92. He's diving with sharks. He's big barrel chested guy, and he loves to he parties like a Roman. He's like, he'll say like, I want appetizers for everyone, lobster, and at the end he always skips out in the bill, and Josh has like $1,500, and Josh is like, hey, he called it, and he's like, I need more money because I'm not gonna say no to this guy.
Because William Shatner just ordered lobster for everybody.
Captain Kirk, man, you want to beat up?
Say no to Kirk.
So after a while, I'd be hanging out with Bill because I'd know I'd be getting some good food. He'd be ordering stuff. I'd be looking at Josh like, it's gonna be fun.
Evan, AZ Gold Hunter says, Evan, I hope you fully understand how much enjoyment you bring to the masses with your lens. There are many who can't get out based on money or health. Also, you preserve history. Thank you and Josh.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm getting so pumped up lately about some of the fans as my daughter Zoe, some of the fans that I have a fan page on Facebook, and I didn't make it. And I'm reading this stuff, and they just pump me up and make me want to be better, want me to go out and tell my story, want me to not just hold it in. So I'm totally into lately now telling my story and getting out there, being a lot more on social media, and showing everyone what it's like to tell stories on the road, in the muck, like you have to stand in like that. It's not fun. People say, I want to hold your bags. Just, you don't want none of this. This is like 16-hour days, 6-day weeks. This is in the cold. This is like, all that stuff. But I think, because of where I've been and my filmmaking, plus melding my mountaineering skills mixed with my storytelling skills, where I am today, I'm totally in a spot where I plan on telling a lot more stories and rolling out the archives. And I have a lot of every story I've ever done. I'm always taking photos and video and just on the side. and I have a lot to give, and I can't wait to do it. Thank you,
Right on.
guys.
Good. Question for Craig Satari. When we go to Mexico, are you going to be playing that bass?
No.
No, I won't be. That's Red. I've had Red since 1983. My mom bought it for me when we were very, very poor and had no money. So Red, I used Red up until the late 90s, and now Red sits at home hanging on the wall. I only use Red for the studio work and occasionally for a New York show because, you know, I don't want it to fall apart. And but I have the same type of bass, same cut, made out of the same wood, same configuration that I'm going to be using. But yeah, unfortunately, Red doesn't really travel much anymore.
That guitar should be in at least the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That guitar has seen probably 10,000 shows, man.
Yeah, that's seen a lot of shows. Yeah, all those scratches in there were from me picking and playing over the years. It's all just carved out. I'd put epoxy over it, like a bunch of layers of epoxy, and like after 2 shows, it would all be ripped out.
That's amazing. Well, hey, what a great show, you guys! That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. This was a real pleasure for me to be on with these 2 gentlemen, to see you, my old friend. This is great, you know.
I followed you on Instagram too.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you back, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
And if you're in New York, as soon as I hang up here, I'm switching my contact lenses and I'm heading downtown because we're playing tonight at Organic Grill. I know a couple people are on their way down there already. Jack, thank you. It was nice meeting you. And but before you guys go, Evan, Jack, plans for the future? Can you hip us to anything like you 2 guys have going on?
Do you want to go first, Craig? Or Evan? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, since I met Jack, we have some sort of crazy synergy that when we work together, it's just magical things happen and things come right. It's almost like we're led to certain things, a story that we're developing that's actually unrolling. It has to do with, you could explain it a lot better, but it's steeped in history and a story that's actually happening. And it's in his hometown. It's kind of like Oak Island. Like you could stay a whole season right here because everything we do leads to something else. And it's just mind blowing.
Even up to yesterday, I was doing an autograph signing up at my small town for they were doing a Halloween event for children's education and everything. And there were people coming up and handing me like, hey, I have this haunted house from the 1800s, from the 1700s. And there were things that were connecting to the story that me and Evan are working on. Awesome. Yeah, there's just so much natural history up here that has been forgotten over time. And, when I started talking to Evan, we both have a passion for history and we see that these stories need to be told. And it's almost like and like he said, it's almost like the spirits have been literally like, here, take this. Use this, tell this story. And it all started, and I'll give a little bit. I don't want to give too much because I know that we're developing something really beautiful here. But, there's these rivers up here that connect up to the St. Lawrence River, up to Canada. And there's like the Racket River, the Grass River, the Oswegatchie, and the Black River. And there's a lot of stories of not just the Native Americans, but the Underground Railroad coming up this way. And there's just been a lot of evidence that's already been placed in our hands, and we just want to tell both sides of the story, not just the paranormal but the historical aspect of it, and give those stories that aren't heard very much anymore.
That's right. And when you start peeling back some onion layers about a house, a property, it goes back to the beginning of America's, and before, and who owned it. Well, now you're getting into some other stuff, and a lot of these spirits, if you let's just say you get the history and you say their name and you say, I know what you've been through, you actually they will show up a little bit more because they're so used to just no one paying attention when they say their name. They're like, wait,
you said that earlier, to talk to them instead of just being in shock, but to try to communicate with them. That's that's really what. That's a big thing.
And that's a lot of times how you get rid of them forever. They say, oh, you hear me.
Yes.
You know my story. I can
move on. You need to go to the light. You've passed. This happened to you. Like they almost maybe don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And this kind of touch bases back with what Evan was saying with the pictures from the cemetery out west, where you're like, these are actual people. These people lived at one point. And you see a lot of these, these shows, and they do this provoking and it's almost rude. And the way I always go about it is, if this was my grandmother who's passed away in a house from 100 years from now, would I want somebody to talk to them respectfully? Would I want
to help them,
know their name and know their story and help them? Absolutely.
If they're confused, perhaps.
Exactly. And that's where it goes back to. You just be respectful, try to learn their story. And that's what me and Evan are trying to do. We're trying to learn their story and tell their story and help them if they need to be helped move on.
That's great.
Evan, is this the old Expedition Unknown?
No, this is Destination Truth, the original. This is the cult show that everyone really started a lot of the paranormal. This is before a lot of the paranormal. I mean, almost all of them. This is in 2009 when we went out, and the crew was part of the show. So if I saw something in my camera, I'd call it out. If the sound man did, or the producer, or the medic. Some people say this show should come back. It can't, because some of the folks don't do that or not capable. And Josh is obviously way into other things that are his interest. But I think I'm going to pick it up.
There you go.
Yep. And keep it going.
You should be hosting that show on the Discovery.
Well, I can't remember. I have a hard time remembering stuff, so I can live in the moment and be all that. And it will be.
Me too.
Yeah, and it will be. It won't be on TV. It'll be on social media and all platforms. And I think that's where entertainment's going. Anyhow, everyone knows that. A lot of the networks, the big networks, are folding. Finally, it's like, yeah, get it. Everyone's on their phone. This is the modern filmmaker is a content provider. Is people who on their phones. Just me and you, Drew, to get into film this took us. We had to get jumped in. We were born into it. You have to, stay with someone.
It was a closed medieval fiefdom. You had to know somebody. But on the flip side,
you guys have Arnie.
Well,
Respect to Arnie.
We have my dad, right? But I have to say that I've totally reinvented myself with this show, which totally is anybody could have done it, but it's this show. Here I am, and I do the show, and it's great.
Yep. And it's kind of liberating. Not I'm going to do a TV show. I didn't get picked up. Who cares? Let's just go.
I didn't need to get picked up. I did my own thing. It has a worldwide audience. I'm so fucking grateful for it. Yep. I love everybody that watches the show. They've enabled me to really live my dream. In a lot of ways.
And you're showing me the way. And I'm finally ready to open up my all my photos and everything. And I'm working with Jack, and we're going to be telling stories our way, the way we like it. It could be, if it's a YouTube show, it's going to be long, 3 hours. We're going to go live. We're playing with live stuff, working with Starlink system, and going live to all platforms. So we're trying some new stuff, but it's the old school way that I learned how to do it at Destination Truth. And Jack has the experience, and we're going to start there. So more to come from us.
All right. Hey, you know what? We have to do this again. We have to get this crowd together right here. Let's do this again in a couple months. Jack, Evan, Craig, and let's sort of reconvene and let's bring the road back together in a couple months. And
I'll hang with this company. I'm privileged to be involved. Thank you, gentlemen. Evan, pleasure to meet you, Jack.
What Jack and I are doing by then will be edited and put up, and we can really talk about stuff we can't right now. We don't want to give away too much, but it is very compelling.
Evan, I'm just thinking we should have Craig on a Bigfoot thing with us.
I'm thinking.
I love Bigfoot. Oh, I love Bigfoot.
Yeah. I'm thinking, man. I think this would be a good collab.
Oh no! What have I unleashed?
Yes. They don't know the trouble they're in.
Adirondacks is super spot.
Hey, I gotta get ready. I got a show to play.
I got all the camping gear. I'm ready.
Jack, I'll see you later. Evan, I love you. I'll talk to you later. All right, Scully, hold on a second. Hold on.
That was fun.
Yeah. How about that, huh?
Are we still live right now?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Your brother's cool as hell. Jack's cool. This was great. The officer was cool. It was cool.
It was great. It was fun. And
I'm like thrilled.
It was fun, man. You held your own, bro.
I'm like Ed McMahon. I gotta hang around, throw a comment in. Maybe you give me the thing, you pass me the baton for a minute. These guys are pros. I'm just like but
you have a passion for it, and
I'm into it. I'm into it.
And just if anybody's wondering, Craig Satari will be on stage this Friday. I'll be down there as well at the Heaven and Hell Festival. We're flying down on Thursday.
Eat some tacos and hang out.
Yo, when was the last time Sick of It All played the same stage as Biohazard? That's going back, man.
A long time.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking years on that one.
Yeah, a very long. I mean, we played a couple shows when they did the other lineup. We played together in like Germany, like whatever, 8 years ago. But you know, the original lineup, that was the 90s. You know, it's gonna be fun to see everybody.
Yeah. See,
I'm still talking to Danny all the time.
Al says, this shit's my bag. I didn't expect it on a punk rock show.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And I got to shout out Marianne Hartley. Great to meet you all. Anyone who wants to see an active place, HMU, and visit Pennhurst Asylum in Pennsylvania. I'm also happy.
I know all about that.
I'm also happy to take you to the paranormal hotspots at the Gettysburg Battery. Marianne, thank you so much for supporting my brother. You know, yeah.
Craig Ahead on Instagram. Hit me up.
Craig Ahead on Instagram.
I'm all about it.
Craig.
I'm all about
Craig
it.
Ahead, there he is. Craig Ahead on Instagram. Reach out to him. And here we go. Something to leave you with. Also, here's a shot from back in the day of me and my brother back in the long hair days. So
wow, look
there
at
you
that.
go. Remember that thing in my neck, Craig, when I had that piercing in my neck? Remember that thing?
Yeah. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, there it is right there. I had my throat pierced.
In case anybody doesn't know, Drew is the first guy that like showed me what the internet was back in like whatever it was. Like
90,
I mean, I knew it.
No, it was like
I knew about like chat rooms.
93, you came over and I said, this is something called the internet.
I was like, what? And he's like, it's a boxing chat room. You could like talk to other boxing people. And I was like, Duran beats so and so, and they're like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, what is this? Like, I was freaking out.
Yeah. Cutting edge, 1993.
Cutting edge. You're cutting edge. You helped me along. Bro. You walked me across the street. Thanks, pal. I'll always remember it.
I love you, man, and
you too, buddy.
And I'm looking forward.
I'll buy your coffee.
I'm looking forward to seeing you down in Mexico. You and the guys.
We're gonna have fun.
All
It's gonna be great.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you for having me. Thanks everyone for listening. This was fun. This was really fun.
Yep. I'll talk to you. There you go. Another one in the books. New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What a fun show. And thanks so much everybody for chiming in and for being a part of it. It was great. Everybody. Pat, Sean, I see you out there, Shawnee, Johanna, Heggs, RS, John Angeli, Marianne, Gina Marie, the whole gang, Astoria Lou. Thanks a lot. I gotta go. I gotta get my shit together. I gotta go play a gig. So thanks a lot once again. I'll see you on here in a week. Maybe I'll see you down in Mexico. Until then, do good things. The good things will come.